응원하는 팀에서 직접 제작을 해주셨기 때문에 더욱더 의미가 클 것이라 생각이 되는데요. 자신이 응원하는 팀에 대해서 오랫동안 응원해온 보람이 있구나 느끼실 수 있는 계기가 될 수 있을 것 같습니다.
To have skins representing our team. It would be like we are actually in the battlegrounds ourselves in the game.
Imagined, wanted, and thought that would be cool. I hope our fans really love the skins. I think they look really cool, so I think the fans will enjoy them as well.
Well, the big challenge is to create something that represents the brand and it has to look cool so the fan has a desire for it. So you need to find the right elements and colors.
皮肤能够被广大玩家喜爱和接受。
对我来说挺激动的，能在 PUBG 里看到代表我们17战队的皮肤饰品，这个过程让我想要拿出更好、更有说服力的表现，来更好的在电竞领域定位我自己和队伍。
这对于选手来说，在游戏里就拥有自己的那种专属道具啊，或者皮肤，就是非常有意义的一件事。然后希望以后这种合作也能够越来越多吧。
I believe there will be more opportunities communicating with our fans, expanding the global partner team program.
안녕하세요. 저는 PGS 캐릭터 팀의 이준호입니다. 캐릭터가 입는 의상, 총기, 그리고 탈 것들을 제작하고 있습니다. 팀별로 그런 색깔이나 특성이 있는 디자인이라고 생각했고 일반 옷으로 생각해도 굉장히 멋스러운 디자인이라고 생각했습니다. 팬들이 보았을 때 가장 중요하다고 생각되는 부분들 그런 부분에 중점을 둬 작업을 했고요. 팬분들이나 이제 유저분들이 보았을 때 우리 팀의 이 유니폼을 입고 실제로 경기를 할 수 있겠구나 하면서 약간 그런 것들에 대한 만족을 위해서 생각을 하면서 작업을 했습니다.
And I want to thank every fan for your support. It means a lot for us.
I cannot imagine the world without fans.
期待一下我们这款皮肤吧。
所以说，你们的支持对于我们非常重要，也希望大家多多支持17战队，谢谢大家。
Xavier's position in particular is really tricky for Ghibli. Oh! Vegas once again landing a sick headshot! How is he getting away with this? Two more bullets in this AWM. Can Vegas make any damage? Yes, he can! Stop! Please! Unbelievable! Vegas!
They desperately need the points. They're set in 15th. There's Cuban with the first. Instantly, the flush to follow. As now Sinan tries to find another, but Cuban again finds the third as well!
It's on now. It's on this maneuver for these teams to go out with a bang and not go out with the whimper. The sense coming on in. Oldless with the grenade at the ready. It looks good!
Oldless takes down two of New Happy! For Akkad, still at her, holding the line, gets another. All of a sudden, this push for third party, or excuse me, for Third Eye, looked good, and now it doesn't.
But they're losing players themselves. It's not going to be a free grab. It's not going to be an easy continuation of this game despite being a center spot. And it looks like Sun Sister also want to take part in this. Petrichor Road actually backed away. They realized that, oh, I say that, it's actually going to be Third Eye eliminated. Oldless swinging around the corner.
This, I mean, like you said, FaZe needs points, and now they're walking right to the guns of Genji. Taming is making them pay, getting 3 headshots with the SLR.
好，我是实际战队的小鬼。
I'm Vex and I play for FaZe Clan.
大家好，我是飘战队的 X Left。
I can't imagine the game without fans.
粉丝们以各种方式支持我们，和我们站在一起。
I've imagined what it'd feel like to have skins representing our team in the game.
It would be like we are actually in the battlegrounds ourselves in the game.
兄弟们，现在登录游戏就能看到我们精心设计的皮肤了。
We designed the skins in the way we've always imagined, wanted, and thought that would be cool.
现在设计好的皮肤已经在游戏中上架了。
If I encountered a player wearing our skins in the game, I would feel like proud to see that.
然后也是希望大家能够期待一下我们这款皮肤吧。
也请大家持续关注我们。
Please stay tuned for our involvement in the project.
Hello players, I'm PUBG Glera. Welcome to our new series, CM's Letter, where we'll be addressing some of your thoughts and updating you on the latest changes we've brought to the game based on your feedback. Speaking of changes, today we'd like to discuss the recent changes made to normal matches. Over the past years, we've heard your feedback about the early phase of normal matches feeling too long or not being able to find enough items to loot. So, we've decided to implement significant changes to the normal matches rule set starting from update 23.1. First off, the playtime from phases 1 to 3 has been greatly reduced to match the early gameplay time of ranked mode. With this, we hope you'll be able to enjoy a faster paced match right from the start. Secondly, we've generally increased the number of weapons, items, and vehicles that spawn throughout the battlegrounds, making it easier for you to find everything you'll need. Finally, other settings such as the plane route and last circle location have been adjusted to match the settings of ranked mode as well. These changes have been made based on your feedback and our analysis of player data over the years. Our aim is to reduce the discomfort and difficulty that players may face when jumping from normal match to ranked. If you haven't tried out the updated normal match just yet, head over to the battlegrounds and let us know what you think. We always appreciate your feedback and take them into account when creating the optimal PUBG Battlegrounds experience. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with more exciting updates.
Now we can be in the game to play PUBG ourselves.
我们设计了我们脑海中一直想要、很炫酷的皮肤。
兄弟们，现在登录游戏就能看到我们精心设计的皮肤了。
If I encountered a player wearing our skins in the game, I would feel proud to see that.
PUBG e스포츠가 오랫동안 고민해왔던 지점 중에 하나가 팀들에게 실질적인 혜택과 더불어서 동반 성장하는 모델을 만들고자 하는 것이었습니다. 그러한 맥락에서 글로벌 파트너 팀 프로젝트를 시작하게 되었습니다. 그 시작으로 GPT 스킨을 제작을 하게 되었습니다. 이번 스킨은 팀에서 원화를 직접 제작을 해주셨는데요. 그 퀄리티가 정말 예상보다 훨씬 좋아서 깜짝 놀랐습니다. 팬분들께도 응원하는 팀에서 직접 제작을 해주셨기 때문에 더욱더 의미가 클 것이라 생각이 되는데요. 자신이 응원하는 팀에 대해서 오랫동안 응원해온 보람이 있구나 느끼실 수 있는 계기가 될 수 있을 것 같습니다.
I have imagined what it would feel like to have skins representing our team. It would be like we are actually in the battlegrounds ourselves in the game. Now we can be in the game to play PUBG ourselves.
We designed the skins in the way we've always imagined, wanted, and thought that would be cool. I hope our fans really love the skins. I think they look really cool, so I think the fans will enjoy them as well.
Well, the big challenge is to create something that represents the brand and it has to look cool so the fan has the desire for it. So you need to find the right elements and colors with meaning.
I'm thrilled that GPT skins will help our fans be united with our team. It's always exciting because you only create these things in the digital world, and it's a great joy to see our fans who will win in our skin.
希望这些皮肤能代表我们17战队，并向大家展示我们战队的文化和精神含义，这样才能确保皮肤能够被广大玩家喜爱和接受。
对我来说挺激动的，能在 PUBG 里看到代表我们17战队的皮肤视频，这个过程让我想要拿出更好、更有说服力的表现，来更好的在电竞领域定位我自己和队伍。
这对于选手来说，在游戏里就拥有自己的那种专属道具啊，或者皮肤，就是非常有意义的一件事。然后希望以后这种合作也能够越来越多吧。
I believe there will be more opportunities communicating with our fans, expanding the global partner team program.
안녕하세요. 저는 PGS 캐릭터 팀의 이준호입니다. 캐릭터가 입는 의상, 총기, 그리고 탈 것들을 제작하고 있습니다. 팀별로 그런 색깔이나 특성이 있는 디자인이라고 생각했고 일반 옷으로 생각해도 굉장히 멋스러운 디자인이라고 생각했습니다. 팬들이 보았을 때 가장 중요하다고 생각되는 부분들 그런 부분에 중점을 둬 작업을 했고요. 팬분들이나 이제 유저분들이 보았을 때 우리 팀의 이 유니폼을 입고 실제로 경기를 할 수 있겠구나 하면서 약간 그런 것들에 대한 만족을 위해서 생각을 하면서 작업을 했습니다.
And I want to thank every fan for your support. It means a lot for us.
I cannot imagine the world without fans.
期待一下我们这款皮肤吧。
所以说，你们的支持对于我们非常重要，也希望大家多多支持17战队，谢谢大家。
Xavier's position in particular is really tricky for Ghibli. Oh! Vegas once again landing a sick headshot! How is he getting away with this? Two more bullets in this AWM. Can Vegas make any damage? Yes, he can! Stop! Please! Unbelievable! Vegas!
They desperately need the points. They're set in 15th. There's Cumin with the first. Instantly, the flush to follow. As now Sinan tries to find another, but Cumin again finds the third as well!
It's on now. It's on this maneuver for these teams to go out with a bang and not go out with the win for the Sens coming on in. Olis with the grenade at the ready. It looks good! Olis takes down 2 of New Happy.
For Akkad, still at her, holding the line, gets another. All of a sudden, this push for for Third Eye looked good, and now it doesn't.
But they're losing players themselves. It's not going to be a free grab. It's not going to be an easy continuation of this game despite being a center spot. And it looks like Sun Sister also want to take part in this. Petrichor Road actually backed away. They realized that, oh, I say that, it's actually going to be Third Eye eliminated. Oldless swinging around the corner.
This, I mean, like you said, FaZe needs points, and now they're walking right to the guns of Genji. Taemin is making them pay, getting 3 headshots with the SLR.
Good morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome to PGS1. We are live from the Battle Arena, Malaysia, a premier esports event venue located in Jaya Shopping Center. My name is Toffees. I am joined by Avenger, and it's time to get into the grand finals. Avenger, are you ready for 3 days of nonstop action?
Honestly, this is all we've been waiting for, right? Super excited to get things started here. We have 16 fantastic teams. I can't wait to crown champion.
16 teams that have ground their way up. We started this whole thing with open qualifiers in different regions to get all the way here. You've been joining us for the losers bracket, the winners bracket, and everything in between to guarantee that we have the best 16 teams for you to take the field today. Let's take a quick look at the schedule. Everything I just talked about is done and dusted. All that matters is the grand finals, and it's go time.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I love the double elimination. It's the way to go from this point, right? We had some teams that obviously went through the winners bracket. The 8 best teams should be here. Some of the favorites should be in there, but we had a really rough grinder for that one, and we had to have some teams that were on the favorites path to go through the losers and then come here for the grand final, of course.
And some that didn't make it out of the losers, but if you can't make it out, you don't deserve to play. Prize pool, $500,000 up for grabs, $80K for first place, and then a massive drop-off after that, Martin.
Yeah, for sure. It's a huge difference here. It's the first time we kind of see a double or more than double here for the first place. So 80,000 is going to be a lot of money for the first place here.
And this is what we talked about with that grind through. We started with group stages. We had the winners bracket for the teams that got to go straight through. Some haven't played for 3 days. If you were those winners bracket top 8, we'll see if that ice makes them better or worse going forward. But all that matters now is 18 matches over 3 days. So extra matches this time around, which I think is going to benefit some of these teams.
Yeah, if you could guarantee yourself to be both in winners bracket and losers bracket, that would be the most training. The road to PGS here, of course, road to PGC, the PGS qualification points. If you win here, you get 200 PGS points.
Is that automatic?
Yeah, I mean, it's the top 4, the most points, the top 4 points that you get here from PGS1 and PGS2. That's going to go straight to PGC. So if you get 200, that's going to be almost a guarantee to go to PGC.
So as long as you don't just completely dog water the year, you are in good shape to make a run to PGC. So that's along the line for these first place teams. Here's the 16 teams who are dropping in to try to get their hands on that $80,000 and the lion's share of those PGS points. Martin, any surprises, pleasant surprises maybe on this list?
Yeah, I mean, honestly surprised to see Hull go through the winners bracket. They were really good, and they've been surprising throughout all the year, so I'm really excited to see them play here.
Absolutely. I'll tell you my pleasant surprise. Third Eye, they're down there on the bottom. They did struggle. They had to go through the losers bracket. But this is a team that started out in the open qualifiers in North America and has literally played every single stage of PGS1 to get to here.
Yeah, and here, of course, the losers and the winners. Playing 3 days, we're playing 18 matches. I feel like that's a really good sweet spot here now that we're still only playing 2 maps. Once we get more, it might be changing a little bit. I gotta say, also very surprised with Gen G. They had an amazing run into losers. They were second last place in the group stage, and everyone was talking about it. Is it gonna be enough for them?
They seem like a team, though, that might benefit from having to go to losers. The teams coming out of losers bracket are sharp. They only had 1 day off, so they're firing on all cylinders coming into this. We'll see if that affects it. Now, if you're playing at home, there's still time to get your fantasy teams in. Kills are worth 2 points. Survival, if they're up, if your guy gets flushed and the team still wins, you lose that 5. So make sure you pick the right players. Now look at this. 3 members of Luminosity, my pick to win this event, up there on the top picks for fantasy.
And the other 2 that is in the top 5 most points gained is not playing because Petrica Road, they didn't make it through losers, and New Happy didn't make it through losers. So very surprising to see these players. Obviously, of course, they did well, but now they're not going to be able to get any points for you. So make sure you go check your Fantasy League team if you haven't updated it.
All right, let's take a look at who's got the team. If you need some help building your team right now, James Kylaris has had one of the strongest teams at this event, so copy him. I think Martin, I don't know if you copied him or if he copied you, but you're running in line there.
No, he copied me. But I have Kickstarter as captain. I have a pretty good faith in him, of course. Also, Uber. Navi, they did too well in winners bracket not to bring in a player there. Of course, here, Paper, Toby, and Cameron's team. Right now, also a lot of similarities. You have a lot of teams and a lot of players that you have to pick. You feel like they're the favorites, right?
It's hard not to pick Uba with the Uba factor. If he comes out strong on day 1, I haven't seen him this good since 2019, and he seems like he's better. He's aged perfectly. We'll see if he continues to go forward. Let's take a look at the talent leaderboard. James is over 100 points ahead of some of the guys on our team. You and I, neck and neck, but really, I think it's the
Brawl for the bottom. Toby and Cameron are going to be keeping an eye on throughout the day today. Tied there at 786. Who's going to be worse?
I checked the overall, like the global leaderboard for that. Is actually, I believe it was Nikos that is actually in lead with more than 1,100 points.
What?
And he's been picking Kickstart.
That as well. Well, his team's about Kickstart. Our games are about me. Miramar, Orangel, back and forth throughout the day. Starting in the Dusty Dunes. Does that give any team an advantage, you think?
Nah, that's not going to be. The only big difference is that usually we play 3-3, right? But here we change it all the time. Now, it's a fresh change, and I actually like it. And I think the teams are actually completely fine with it.
We saw a lot of hot drops on Miramar in the earlier stages. Do you think we're going to see those hot drops again, or has it all sort of sorted itself out at this point?
I have some fun stories. One fun story about Miramar is actually that, Gunnar, he went in and said, we want Impala. Cerberus also wanted Impala. And he offered them a brawl. So they actually went to each other's rooms and started talking about it, and they came to an agreement. Maybe we shouldn't brawl. Maybe we should fight for it. So maybe we're going to see them hot drop Impala. Maybe we'll see Cerberus inside the last instead. So it could be interesting.
So there might be an in-game brawl right at the start of this one. We also got the 17 Sonics thing going on. And if you guys want to support a team in particular, the team skins are on sale right now through the 17th. So go ahead and get your chance to represent your team in-game. And we're going to be giving away codes throughout the broadcast today so that you can get some of those skins for your game. In fact, we're going to go ahead and give away one of them right now. So get those fingers ready to type in this code in just a minute to get your free skin for 17. Go ahead. There it is, the bottom right now. Do you think 17 is going to be at the top at the end of today?
We'll see. It depends if they have Picard changing to themselves. It's likely that they're gonna have it. Yeah, let's see if that's the case, and if they kind of got everything started from losers, because they've had a rough run, so far. And yeah, I gotta say, I don't have 17 in my top 4 at the moment.
So let's pivot off that. Who do you think? Take a team. Who do you think wins this, and what's their victory condition?
Win the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for sure Luminosity Gaming has a big chance here. Their 13-point day was the kick in the right direction. I think they have a good chance. Otherwise, Na'Vi also look really strong in winners brackets, of course.
I agree. If either of those teams put up a big day one, it's going to be huge. Guys, the stage is set. The players are in their chairs. The trophy is up for grabs. Without further ado, let's get this show started.
Good evening and welcome to PGS 1, coming live to you from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's been an exciting tournament so far, with our best players around the world competing for the past 7 days. Today marks the beginning of their final battle, and I'm sure the teams are ready to give their all to become the first ever PGS 1 champions. I'm your host, Bella, and today I'm joined by Paper Thin. Paper, are you excited?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Bella. The teams that have made it this far have worked incredibly hard and shown their skills across some of the most intense PUBG action we have ever seen.
Yeah, and the stakes can't be any higher, with the prize pool of $500,000 on the line, and of course the title of the PGS 1 champions. The players will be, giving their all for the grand finals.
Absolutely. So guys, sit back, relax, and get ready for some insane PUBG action.
Yeah, we got some amazing matches lined up today, and I'm sure you guys can't wait to see how it's all gonna play out. The first match is up in a few minutes, so make sure to stay and watch how it all goes.
Well, without further ado, we are ready to kick off the PGS 1 Grand Finals. Let's get into the games and find out who will be the champions of the new era.
Being the best isn't just about winning the trophy. It's about giving your everything and showing the world what you're made of. That's what I'm here to do.
저희가 패자조에서 이게 되게 초조하고 긴장했었는데 결국엔 저희가 올라갈 거란 믿음이 있었기 때문에 평소 실력이 그대로 나온 것 같고 그랜드 파이널에서도 저희가 PWS에서 왜 우승했는지 보여줄 수 있을 것 같습니다.
I know that the grand final will be a challenge, but I'm up for it. I'm going to give everything I have and leave it all on the field.
我们在小组赛中经历了起伏，但我们成功晋级了总决赛。我们不会把这个机会当成理所当然，我们会全力以赴，放开来打。
무대를 부시러 PGS에 왔습니다. 예전 모습을 신경 쓰지 않고 최선을 다하고 제일 강한 모습을 보여드리겠습니다. 조심하세요.
Our journey to the grand final has been a roller coaster ride. We've faced some tough challenges along the way, but it just makes us stronger. Now we're ready to take on whatever comes on our way in the grand final.
Ở giải đấu lần này chúng tôi không chỉ là muốn giành được chiếc cúp mà để chứng minh rằng là người Việt Nam không có dở. Các bạn hãy chờ xem màn chào đón của bọn tôi nhé.
We have overcome all the problems we face, and now it's time to grab our champion. We are ready.
虽然我们在胜者组的状态不是很理想，但是我们不会因此失去了信心。我们会以此为动力，在决赛中全力以赴。你们就拭目以待吧。
อย่าประมาทนะครับรอบนี้พวกเราทีม Data Gaming มาประกาศให้โลกรู้ว่าพวกเราคือทีมระดับโลกครับ
We may be underestimated, but we're ready to rise to the occasion and make a statement.
Kendimizi dünyaya göstermeye ve bu yolda başarıyı kazanacağımıza inanıyoruz.
Get ready for the finals because SDK is coming.
Defending a title is never easy, but we are up for the challenge. We know that the other teams are going to be looking to knock us off the perch. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we stay on top.
We are ready.
준비 다 됐습니다.
Chúng tôi đã sẵn sàng.
พวกเราพร้อมแล้ว
Hazırız.
We are ready.
It is time for PGS 1 Grand Finals. 18 rounds to go before we crown our first ever global champion of the year. And Toby, there are some favorites coming into this lobby for sure. Some of them were favorites from the very beginning of this competition, but also quite a lot of, I don't want to necessarily call them underdogs anymore because teams like Howl really showed up in winners. Yeah. Just a bunch of teams that are just kind of really showing that this is a pretty deep pool that we have here in the grand finals.
It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. 1 through 18, all the matches. I think every single game is going to show us the very best PUBG we could have hoped for. And I just got to add, these intro videos are getting better and better tournament after tournament. I had the chills all the way through. All these teams, you could hear it from themselves too. They want it desperately. They want to bring home the trophy.
Yeah, I know. And it's all going to start here. New lobby, brand new composition of teams. I don't think we're going to be getting as many hot drops, not nearly as many hot drops as we did during groups, and then of course the 2 winners and losers brackets, though I do think there might be one at the start. I'm not going to spoil it just in case it doesn't happen. You never know how these negotiations go down. It's almost like the UN sometimes where teams sit down, they bring their case, they try and see what they can negotiate.
Exactly. We are going to hop over to Miramar. Of course, Des brought it down as well, or broke it down as well. We're getting the teams ready. We're getting the players ready.
I don't know if you caught that. That was a big old X over Silverson's face. 17 are ready to take on the Sonics and make sure that their center spot is claimed. That I can guarantee is not going to be hot drop. The Sonics are prepared to leave. They know that it doesn't matter what happens. 17 Gaming are not going to leave their drop spot, and 17, I believe, have gone public saying that they are willing to throw this tournament to keep Pachinki Picado for themselves. So that is not what Sonics are going to be fighting for. They know that that is not a losing battle necessarily, but they have higher goals.
There's more to fight for than just Picado, Pachinki. Couldn't agree anything more. Let's see now match number 1 of 18. It's hovered on over on Miramar. The playing path this time around came very Eastern, and you know why I like this in particular? Because with this lobby, there are now a ton of teams opting to loot out East. So most teams, if not all, should be able to go exactly where they want, despite this playing path looking somewhat southeastern skewed.
I don't know if you guys can hear it in,
so.
through our mics. I don't know if you can, but there's a lot of yelling, at least there was until just a moment ago, between a couple of different teams, and it's exciting because they are ready to play. They are giving it their all, and yes, as you can see, the playing path is southeast skewed, so anything El Pozo or beyond, a bit more difficult to get to, and it's Impala. That's the spot.
That's at least for now, the only hot drop that we've heard could potentially be one of it. We'll see if that's going to happen or not. We also know that Luminosity, who have in the past looted Minas, they are not going to try and contest Navi. They will stay right to the east of them, though, over in Junkyard. So we'll see if maybe there's going to be some fighting for vehicles, some early on commotion. Because again, with 18 matches to go, you can risk trying to claim something here in the first one and still go into the remaining 17 well off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a few overlaps here in the first game of Miramar, first game of Erangel as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of room to play with, really. But we're looking at the map right now. I can tell you Impala is not being contested. Cerberus did concede that position to the Sonics, and we are going to watch Soul with a very early win 94, trying to take a couple of shots towards Third Eye. Not going to really land on the Richie B just yet, but you know what? You got to take the shots.
I was going to say, imagine Pio gets a chance as well to assert some early on dominance as the first circle takes us up towards the north. This is interesting, mainly because a lot, if not almost all teams opted to jump out early on. So how will the journeys be up towards Cruz del Valle? We have to wait and see.
I mean, with no hot drops here, that's going to be a lot of teams all coming in from the south side from a lot of different angles. Now, if you're a team like Ascend or Third Eye, who are south but southwest, you have an easier time wrapping up all the way around El Pozo and coming in from the west side of that circle. But as it stands right now, with the terrain in play, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be coming in from the south end, whether it's a little bit east or a little bit west. That's still a lot of traffic from two specific points.
Now, you mentioned them briefly, but I want to go back to them again. Ascent and Danawa as well, two teams we've seen trying to utilize very similar rotation paths. Now, they haven't had Third Eye in the middle of them when they've done this in the past. What I'm talking about is northern circles. Both Danawa and Ascent like to really wrap hard northwest, even around El Pozo, around the Copraria, all the way up towards Oasis and in from there. So could potentially be a little bit of commotion off of that one as well.
Shalu throwing a grenade out the window. I thought that was... It got me looking at the map, wondering if there was a little bit of a hot drop that we missed. But there is going to be a little bit of a roster change, as you can see. Shalu stepping back into play instead of Wingzai.
And a huge player to have back on your team. A player who has performed globally time and time again. Not to take anything away from Wang Sai, because him stepping in kind of last second, really, notice, came in, played an amazing anchor, taking me back instantly to one of the first games up on Erangel. Amazing anchor player, amazing contain player, really phenomenal performance. Now, Sololsi out as Tycon is back in as well.
Yeah, missed Tycon for a little bit, but he was not necessary for them to advance from the winner's bracket, but still an amazing player. And if you can get him back on the field, you're going to take that. I believe that's all the roster moves.
It should
to the game.
But again, I mean, credit to Sololsi as well. A second story of a player stepping in. I mean, of course, they're always prepared to take over when need be. But you never hope that it's going to happen because you do have your select four. Let's listen to a quick interview here from 17's Little Ghost.
第一天被人战术针对过后，大伙儿心态都不太好。然后经过2天，我们4个选手加教练的调整，心态也恢复过来。主要是还是心态吧，其他上没什么调整。其实我觉得进入决赛后，我们英会跟 S 就不知道，希望他像男人一样够捕捉完这18场决赛。
Well, as we know, that did not happen. Did not drop down onto Picado, whether that's brave or smart. Depends on what angle you're coming from. But this is an early engagement here between Ghibli and 4AM.
And it's
both contesting center here.
And that's the thing, right? It's so ironic how we talk about all these teams on the edge that have to rotate in, but it's the teams that already have primary real estate that are now finding each other. But again, as I said before, teams will overlap, and especially those teams that are gifted circles early on, trying to flex out, trying to take more control. So far, Heaven is knocked, but I haven't seen any flashes come through just yet.
Not yet, but it's going to take Human a bit to get over there, and that's Na'Vi also swinging in from the east side. So I think, oh, no, it's a crash. Ghibli, they're charging on in. They're not going to give up this first round. They want to defend all 4 of their members in this situation, as well as the compound. So Heaven there off on the side, or sorry, Human there off on the side. It could be a good anchor position because now Glaz and Tozy are in the room, but crazy. 1.2 pushing forward, gets immediately dropped by the Vector.
Yep, Vector up close, as deadly as any other gun, really. And the more shots fired here, Na'Vi here's the better off they're going to be. They probably might just pull on over and see what happens on the other side of the street.
Summer now. Bottom floor, blue glass. A couple of pieces of utility grenades come out, but
Bine,
Summer
mă,
just pushing
Summer.
on through, does not care about grenades.
Nu! Bă, prostule! Doamne! Face jump cu aia, el face... Doamne, prostici, doamne!
And now 4am trying to reset a bit in the building here. Xiaohai Lu sat next to
El îmi face volt pe geam, mâncați așa.
up on the ridge on the other side, potentially able to cover. Nope, not gonna happen.
I believe there's a little bit of smoke there, allowing Xiaohai to get that kill confirmed. But now Lu goes down, so they're just taking loss after loss after loss. This is the Na'Vi third party finally coming into play. Example spotted the final member of 4am, Xiaohai, going for the revive, and Ghibli are also pushing in because they know they have these 4am members on the ropes.
Yep, they trade on the west side. Peeking on over as well. I mean, again, do you want to get off to a good start early? And what better than finding freebies, shooting people in the back in the grand finals? You wouldn't have it any other way.
It's not just about getting freebies yourself. It's also about knocking out a big piece of the competition very early on.
Ce cu bătaia asta, mâncați așa, ar trebui să joace puțin mai așa. Stea bine, se bate aici, de se rup.
So now it's been evened up a fair bit, 2v2, and with the pressure of day trade leaving with Flash flying away, there is still Na'Vi on the east side, and that alone could keep this fight very contained.
I'm actually kind of glad to see Na'Vi not overcommit to this fight, because they know that there's no way they're the only couple of teams inside in the circle here, and what is a good third party for them could potentially become a fourth party for any other team wrapping up behind them. So prioritizing the compound, as you can see here, example really right now the only one with a proper angle on the compound over on the other side, trying to see what he can find. Got a knock early, but did not get the flush off of it.
And also keep in mind, this is not the only fight. In fact, you even see Third Eye and Ascend having rotated around each other, also in a bit of engagement. I believe Snakers from Luminosity also went down. So this is a lot of early fighting, and I think part of it is because there is no hot drop. That's just more population trying to find its way into phase one.
And we led into it early on, right, saying that there is going to be overlaps, especially with, as you said too, a new lobby, Erangel, Miramar, at least the first, maybe even 2 games could be the same way. But as predicted as well, Ascend over the top would run into both Danawa and Third Eye, but Ascend in the end, the ones to take casualties off of it.
Oh, the fight's finally breaking out. Heaven with a shotgun up close, not expected. They were so focused on the other final Ghibli player that Heaven is just now able to run amok. Peeking back and forth out, that is 4am eliminated in 16th place. All 4 out before 10 minutes. Now, Ghibli are wounded themselves, but they were able to stabilize. There is still going to be Na'Vi breathing down their throats, breathing down their necks, but they're in a central position, so it is unlikely that they will need to go for a drastic move anytime soon.
And plenty of games still left to be played, so for Ghibli, even if they take casualties early on, salvaging points in the first couple of games of the grand finals is huge, because that way you don't sit and look at 4 games, oh, we only got 2. No, you might have 10 combined over the first couple of games, even when things don't go your way.
Checking back into Third Eye on the north side. Got a little bit of a scuffle with Ascend, as we saw. Got a kill off of that, so they're going to be taking that point into this first phase. Everyone also maneuvering around. Sonics, 17, still have yet to run into each other, but that'll be an explosive fight whenever it happens, whether it's a hot drop or a late game finish.
Kickstart am le băgam și pula să-mi bag.
Decent angle towards the east, wanting to make sure that no one's able to wrap down that direction. They see Tycon up on the roof as well, or the roof, over the top of the hill as well, as he tries to get a better position again. This first circle, I mean, he can really swing anywhere, and there are some really interesting areas available in this one, especially with how many teams have now been able to claim somewhat center positions here.
Genji now moving in. Coming in last, usually, but they're definitely one of the more conservative teams in this lobby. Don't look for early engagements. This is the team that, not a lot of expectations coming into this, especially after group stage, but I don't know what clicked. I don't know what happened in loser's bracket, but they just suddenly remembered how to play the game. And so I think that this is not a team that you can underestimate here. There's no team that you can really underestimate here in the grand finals, but you got to basically forget what Genji looked like in groups if you're going to face them here.
I'm not going to lie. Had they scraped their way into the grand finals, I would not have had any expectations from them. But as you said, they managed to turn things around in the losers bracket and are now looking very, very good.
10 seconds before we see phase number 2, and it's been evened up a little bit, but Third Eye and Danawa, they're towards the north, and that is still quite open. It's a lot of field, but it's going to be a hard... Of course, this is PGS hard shift, not PGS 1. It's PGS hard shift, and it's going to be a hard shift towards the east, towards Terra Bronco. Sonics have a great spot. Cerberus have a great spot. Chiamba are coming in late to a really, really good spot, though it is a little bit on the low ground, but they can perhaps race those two aforementioned teams for the nice, more controlled high ground position. But a lot of teams on the west side, it's a big open field where we're seeing 17 cross through, so this might be a few kills being taken on traffic rotation.
There's definitely going to be commotion as all these teams try and make the win. As you said, Chiamba clapping their hands as they get the shift in their direction, and now the two remaining Luminosity players trying to take out 17 on rotation. One tire out on the Mirado, you know what that means, Spinaroo. As Flood tries to see if he can find it, they have no other option, they gotta come into
Uite
this
frate
fight.
ce mișto. I-a dus la roțile și au venit ăștia să-l ajute instant.
That's going to be logos going down as we see more teams all fighting each other in the kill feed. This is, again, quite early, but the rotations are... well, making it happen, rather.
Exactly.
Hello?
So many teams have to come through the same few funnels, and teams will collide because of it. Himas able to find Schofield's kill instantly stolen away, though, from Ali as this fight now in a bit of a stalemate, and with 2 players down on the side of 17, I'm not sure how much they can overcommit to it, especially with now STK sat on that southern side.
One member of 17 knocked, one member fully confirmed.
Momentan nu, că sunt la muncă.
As we speak, but Relo goes down to a nice grenade from Xiaobei. So those two pitted 17 players, despite being cornered between 2 different teams, they are still doing damage and looking for the opportunities.
Yeah, 17 yet to find their first point. In the grand finals, Xiaobei lobbing an 8 on in, but Flood ready for that one. As I say, that actually jumps straight back into it. Not taken down, though. Able to stay alive. Suchu trying to hold the west side door. Not able to find a hold on either. Xiaobei now pushes. Solnov in hand. There you go. Xiaobei finds 1, finds 2. Luminosity out in 15th.
Still a lot of heavy damage towards 17 and STK. They have them surrounded. Vegas even swung himself across the road. Alo is going that direction as well. Unsure if STK are going to be sticking around to make sure 17 can be put in the dirt right behind Luminosity, or they're going to use this opportunity to sort of speed ahead and get more towards the center, but the center is not safe either. No, I lied, they're crashing.
Yeah, full speed, they're coming in only with 2 the first time round, leaving Purdy and Penta up on the hill. As I say, the Penta actually now wrapping down towards the compound itself as well, so they will be in a 3v2 position with Purdy up on the top, but how do they push this? Alo sat alone right now. Cavalry is arriving, first one in, instantly down Suju, not going for the flush, awaiting the second peek around Vegas, able to take him down in return.
Alo tried to bait out the shot to get the information, but he's going to have to send his own body inside. Now Xiaobei, the last one left for 17 with a spray down against Penta. He is going to get the knock. Trying to confirm that kill to get at least 1 more point, because surrounded by 3 other members of STK, it's looking very unlikely, but he has an opportunity to try and maybe get some meds. Kurt was going to call that rotation behind the blue.
The info has been fed across, no doubt. Pert, though, not in a position to really do a whole lot actively, other than give the info. Xiaobei smart, knowing that he has Purdy Curdy up on the hillside to try and wrap underneath.
Pe Heaven ăsta ce joacă să moară, mă.
Has some time to heal. The flash is going to guarantee.
Uite-te la Heaven ce face cu aia. Te pișe pe tot scoadă singur să moară, mamă, pe șadă.
More flashes at the ready. Neo knows he needs to go for a fight, but stuck in the door frame. STK take it.
Heaven has just found 3 knocks. Solo versus Cerberus, taking out 3. And the issue for now Cerberus is that their 4th ain't around. He's nowhere near here. Heaven found 2 against 17 early with a shotgun. He might just have 5 eliminations, 5 kills with a shotgun right off the get.
Dar parcă meciul ăsta așa se termină instant, să moară, mă. Baf, a făcut acolo bine.
I believe they were the first victims knock-wise. And the fact that they were in first place, granted after 1 game, but with 7 points, it's still a good showing. And the hard shift back towards the west is still funneling people into this one singular hilltop. We have SQ here, we have Heaven, of course. Cerberus were here. Tycon is a bit more towards the south, but Howl and Navi are also roaming around this singular hillside.
Only so many areas to play in this area of the map because the southern side is so incredibly open. So a lot of the teams kind of forced into the mid-side belt of it, and now Howl eliminated. Navi and Sonics sharing a few points in between them. You can see Sonics really want to deal with Heaven down below, but just seeing 3 being taken down from Cerberus might have them think the bit of it.
A lot of grenades being lobbied that way.
Yep. He's chilling.
I mean, it's open, so you can throw those grenades in, but it is also quite wide. So trying to bank them onto that back wall where Heaven is holding can be a little difficult. And as you saw, Sonics can't focus too heavily on it. They can't really get into the best angle unless they get tagged in the back by a Na'Vi. So they might just have to leave Heaven there and maybe be in a little bit of a friendly relationship. Heaven defends the low ground, they defend the high.
Exactly, especially now that they've heard the vehicles from Na'Vi coming behind as well. Well aware there's other areas of the map they need to concern themselves with more. Na'Vi in the meantime opting to rotate out on foot, knowing that Sonics weren't really too eager to peek them up the hillside, so they'll be able to play this one. But as you can see here on the map too, it's just so open. It's so difficult to rotate through here. The good thing, I guess, for the server right now is that so many players have gone out early, so you do have that much more space to maneuver.
Yeah, but a lot more space to still be seen, because you cannot overstate just how open this is. There are some ridges to play with because it's not a field. Like there are parts of fields that you can see in front of you, but it's not entirely a field. But at the same time, because the elevation is in play, maybe the ridges are nerfed from that.
Look at this rotation from Gen.G. They still have two people in Fox and Taemin over towards the east, but all the way down south, DG is set on the southern side of this road, and then PO, we know him as a solo player, making his way up close. Unluckily for him, first bullet hits the rock in front of him, and Vegas able to 180 and get out of that one alive. Now PO has to reconsider, do I stick around alone, or do I wait for my team? You can see Taemin is coming up, PG98 is still over on the other side, kind of playing the Overwatch position. Good thing for SDK now aware that they have opponents nearby.
Yeah, with the moments remaining in phase number 3, as we do see Rex go down, Third Eye with another kill going their direction. But the circle is closing, and so if anyone, whether it's Third Eye, whether it's Gen.G, want to go for a fight, there's only so much that you'd be willing to commit to it. Because where is the next zone going to go? Opalez goes down to kill Yakai. That was a really good spray, and this hard shift to the northeast will favor this fight continuing, because this is now a fight for what could be a strong position.
A lot of suppressive fire coming in from Tianba, actually, for killing Nate finds one, finds the same as well, though, but Adam was first to the trigger, so kill Yakai falls, and I don't think there's a whole lot Chris can do from this, but especially now not with Vox crossing over.
Vox thrown out in the open, so if Chris spots it, if Chris senses it, could take him out, but I think Vox is going to have the angle drop.
E prost, ăsta mâncați-aș pula ta. Se vede că-s roboți.
That is going to be it for Ascend. They go out in 12th place. Third Eye with 4 kills. They lose one. They're trying to go for the revive, but Na'Vi are pushing towards the north. They heard. They saw that happen in the kill feed, and they want to stake their claim to this northern ridge.
Na'Vi are masters of third.
Always able to find kill positions
they should never be in, and of course they'll be right over the top as soon as they
Bă, prostie, coaie.
More frag grenades coming out. Adam trying to get the covering fire. Richard B with a frag grenade in return. They're bouncing all away from each other. And Vox with this position that he was able to take from Chris is a nice angle to keep Na'Vi from really overflowing this ridge. But this is Na'Vi controlled of this site. Third Eye have such little ground to play with.
And Na'Vi having to fall back now as well, because Sonics on the southern side are starting to suppress too. And I love the fact that we saw just quickly there from Vox that he shoots even just into the mountainside. They just need to hear gunshots, they need to hear shots connect to force them further back, because they were very alone on the other side of the ridge, but Vox's assistance forced Na'Vi back.
SDK now making the run over the open field, finding a small little hill, but it's really not a lot of cover, and Tygon has a grenade at the ready. Shots behind onto Twisted Minds, because they're contending for the exact same spot. Spyro does go down. Attempted drive-by not going to work out for Twisted Minds, and now that's a single shack that the remaining European players are holding in. With the crossfire set up, damage is coming out. Spyro does get confirmed.
Surrounded there by STK, not a whole lot for Lou and Perfectix to do. They're not even on the side of the shack from where they can get inside it, so not a whole lot going. They're not inside the next circle. Penta and Vegas will have to move, but you'd have to imagine they could stake around for long enough that they can take Twisted Minds down first.
I'm wondering why. I'm surprised that Penta and Vegas haven't been able to do more damage, while we see Twisted Minds still just put it all in trying to defend this position. I wonder if it's because Day Trade are third-partying the peaks from Vegas and Penta, but they're just going to get into their vehicles and send it all in. While Twisted Minds, they're retreating from that position. It is a really good call to get out, because that was such a scary spot. But the question is, where can they follow up to?
Good rotation timing for them. We'll see now that nade. Oh, just bounces off the hillside a bit short earlier. Able to get back up alive as Dano has now made the presence known. It was found earlier just moments ago. And look at this area, so difficult to play around. Dano knows that they have Third Eye on the other side too.
And here comes Tiamba as well. All these teams putting attention towards the north because essentially Sonics has the south on lock, it seems, as well as Daytrade, who get another knock onto STK, but it's a hard shift once again towards the east. So this fight on the north side is very, very powerful. Everywhere else, it's just going to be trying to survive.
Sure, it's the southern side of this map is going to be on fire more than it already is. You can see a loop effect. There's barely any utility left between these two, and they have to try and see how the hell do they get out of this position. Cerberus falls, 11th place for them as Daytrade racks up another.
Gen G pushing up north, filling in the position that was let go by Tiamba as they also went to go favor the north side. There is PO and Taman still there on the south, so we know how much Gen G love their splits when they can get them, when they're uncontested on them. And well, when the blue coming in just a short amount of time, Taman and PO have a short amount of time themselves to get a knock or two before they then have to group up.
Pushers, I was just going to mention this. Pushers is sat alone on the rock side. It does have Nora and some flash to kind of help cover the position, and now they spot them in the open. Issue is, should have seen them much, much earlier. I get that they're looking the other way, but you have to focus one fight at a time. Here comes the full-on pull-up. The Vec is able to get one. It's a fight for potential 10th place elimination here between Penta and Perfectix.
Penta with the frag. He knows he doesn't have time to reload before Perfectix goes for the push and gets STK out of the lobby. STK put up a really good fight, but it was not enough with Twisted Minds and Daytrade shooting from all different angles. Perfectix going for the revive, and you can see in the distance, Daytrade, they're going to push into the zone, leaving Belmont there just to watch over the last stragglers from the south, but even he is now going towards the zone. Back to Gen G now as everyone is all grouping up. They have a small little ridge, kind of a dip at the top to play around, and this is where that Sonics compound might start to get really activated.
Sure is. In the meantime, we've got to give kudos to Heaven as well for having been able to stay
Sonic s-au băgat acolo, s-au baricadat. În loc să iasă pe să facă kill-uri și așa mai pe ei.
Anytime soon, that first headshot is definitely gonna make it more likely that he will fall. Does he give it to Heaven? Potentially. Let's see. Is he welcome with a headshot? Not gonna happen. There you go. Flash finds it.
Down to 8 teams left. We are starting to hit placement positions now as Twisted Minds go out in 9th. And looking at the map, all but PO, of course it's all but PO, is actually in the zone. I think Danoa and Third Eye may have 1 or 2 stragglers that are just outside the barrier, but they're just trying to get that positioning in. But Gen G, they are focused on Sonics. They have a nice little crossfire set up with PO on the south, Taman on the north, anchoring in from Tiamba, while DG98 and Foxy poke and prod this compound. Sonics haven't really been able to move too much around it because of the terrain, as well as Navi and Daytrade's angles.
I'm surprised that, especially knowing that Ghibli only has a solo player left in the compound, that with them pulling up, Sonics don't do more, like play more aggro to try and wrap out east. I guess it's partially because PO was sat on the southern side and trying to suppress him. In the meantime, now let's hop up towards the north again as Third Eye and Danoa heads up close to one another.
Aici, în dreapta de zonă.
Very, very close to Third Eye. The circle is going to basically center up. That center is not controlled by anyone. We're going to see a couple of different fights here, one north, one south, and we'll see if Navi and Tiamba, where exactly they want to be activated in either of those 2 directions. Salutes baiting a peek out from Third Eye, because again, it's all about trying to give Soul that opportunity to get that second strike in once one of the other Danoa players gets the first.
Let's see, Soul. Surprise player trying to sneak his way over the ridge line. As long as they're shooting, they shouldn't be able to hear the footsteps. One caught on the other side there, but Soul finds one for the second as well. Nice flank, nice peek, almost takes down the third.
Soul gets activated. Richard B did get the first knock of this engagement, but now Soul is here to close the fight, to finish what Danoa have been teasing with, toying with for the past couple of minutes. It's all on Vox, and look at Tiamba squeezing in from the south side.
Tiamba coming in on one side, Navi wanting a piece of this pie as well from the southwest. Tiamba wants to get it done with. He does succeed in doing so. Kill confirmed, but so much attention now is coming to this north side of the map.
Yeah, Danoa are now outside of the zone, and they're in one small little pocket. Who do they push to, Navi or Tiamba? It's a couple little bits of points of damage against Tiamba. Longsker down to 39 HP, forced to fall away. This is a little bit of space for Danoa to try and push forward, but they're running in one singular pathway, one singular line, which Tiamba, with all of their ranged weaponry, can try and shut down. That's even an AWM in the hands of 77.
You know, all that, not all, but a lot of wishes go from Danoa that Gen G starts pushing up from the southern side, but they're playing this one very passive. And Onyx falls to Longsker. Nice spray coming through with the barrel there.
Attempted information drive-by from Onyx does get punished. Grenades not exactly finding Longsker's position, falling just a bit short. And the range poking and prodding from the rest of Danoa is just Not finding the mark. Long throw with the prone spray down. Salute is now knocked. Now it's all in for Donowa going out, just unable to get what feels like a single point of damage into Tiamba.
And again, on the backside of all of this, Gen G sat in a perfect position to pounce, but combination of power suppressing and them, I think, a little worried that if they do push up north, that Sonics will push out, forces them to stick around for a little longer.
They trade grenades as they push into Na'Vi. They're trying to circumvent Sonic's hold, and they're going in through another team's four-man positioning here. Mel falling away. Everyone else from Na'Vi is playing into the open graveyard. That grenade just not finding where it needed to go. It's good positions around the fence, around this barrier, around this wall, but with Alia taken very, very low. If Daytrade only knew that the follow-up is going to get the knock, that's going to force Example potentially to go for the revive. Mel has to fall away, and that's Daytrade taking the space, as well as Chiamba third-partying.
Yeah, with Chiamba now over one, Ridgeline Daytrade pushing in from the other. Na'Vi all of a sudden in a very, very poor position, trying to play full control. In the meantime, Heaven, the solo player from very early on in the game, has snuck its way into top 6.
Daytrade in the hardcover. Circle's gonna set her up once again. Not a single soul is inside this next zone. And Chiamba and Gen G, as you said, have a lot of move and a lot of freedom. Daytrade do not, and they're just putting that pressure onto Na'Vi. Mel goes down. Alia did get revived and meted up. Grenade at the ready, knows that it just needs to be tossed on the opposite side of that wall, but Norins and Belmont, they are going huge right now. It is only Uba remaining. Deals a little bit of damage.
He's in such a tough position. The issue for Daytrade is they can't really wrap into. The only entry without jumping over is exactly where Flash went down off of that gate right there. So Uba, nice angle for him, knowing the only spot he can really play is in that exact position.
He's creeping forward. He wants to try and catch Daytrade off guard, potentially.
Wait.
Norins has the shotgun, ready for the one and done. Pump and dump, and he's gonna go for the shot. That's at least gonna be the information. While Belmont is going to confirm the kill, so they knocked, and then of course, the jump shot, he is gonna get Na'Vi out of this.
Și morții mătii să vă fut în gât de boți. Bag pula în ei, deci toți coaie, dar toți în pula mea au murit. Să-mi bag pula în rasa lor. Uite echipă ce mi-am făcut și-s morți în cadă, dă-te în pula mea. Și șama și pe voi să mă piși. Terminați. Îmi bag pula, toți au murit coaie, toți. Îmi bag pula în echipa pulii mele. Ăsta-i bate pe toți cu shotgun, să moară mama, are Heaven 7 kill-uri cu aia. Du-te în pula mea. Rezistă ăsta care e solo player cu două squaduri, a rezistat în pula mea, două squaduri cu aia. Nu sunt stare ăștia care sunt full squad să bată 3 bărbați. La mine și pula să-mi bag. X-Star nu mai știe să joace nimic, să-mi bag pula, nimic nu mai joacă. Inonix mi se plimbă cu mașina în fața lui player, la 5 metri el ia mașina. Hai mă, ce pula mea.
But he is pushed so far forward behind enemy lines, and Tianba have been devastated. It's all onto Longsker right now to try and save the day. But with the amount of not able to get that trade onto Pio.
I think he thought he had it. He's kind of stopped shooting mid-spray to try and find it. Now he does find him in return. Pio does Pio things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He found the 2 knocks early on, and I think
Dar nu știu, mă, n-au sunet, să-mi bag pula, nu l-auzea pe ăla acolo, după Rich, fața lui. Îmi bag pula. Poate Norins, am vrut să le iau pe Norins, tu l-ai pe Norins. Insane, nu?
Belmoth maybe trying to wrap on the south side, but Daytrade are currently just lying in wait. Longster did find an opening, an opportunity to go for the revive. So with the teammate in tow, perhaps if Daytrade and Chiamba strike at the same time, they could then really take this game from Gen G's hands. Belmoth strikes first.
I like this wraparound. They know they're playing solo games now. I mean, both Belmoth and Norins is full level 3 gear. So if you're going to be outnumbered, at least have the Kevlar to support your position. Belmoth sprays over once again. DG98 down to half HP.
Mă, bați-ți pe ăștia doi că-s pământ de flori acum amândoi. Tai, e mine ăsta din 10 glanțe cu sniperul nimerește un glonț. Câte capa.
just not able to find the opening that he needs, and so instead the smoke grenades are going to come out.
Yeah, loving that Gen G are committing both Taman and DG to try and prevent the day trade peak on over, because Foxy's open field area can easily hold off the two
nu știu, mă, coaie, nici nu zici că e finală, nu știu, se joacă așa ca și cum ar fi încă grupe, să-mi bag pula, nu se simte, coaie, că e finală. Cum erau meciurile Open înainte, din 2018-2019, atunci când a câștigat Gen G-ul. Mai ții minte când au bătut Pio, Loki, cu Inonix, cu ăștia, toată mapa în pula mea. Era să câștige UBAC de unul singur. Era la Fates. L-au bătut Bulangii de l-a bătut Aduzi când era la Navi în pula mea. Îi mai trebuiau un punct, un kill, îi mai trebuia și câștigau ei și așa au câștigat Gen G-ul. Au rupt Gen G-ul atunci, 2019. Atunci era coaie, turnee, nu... Aici nu prea, uite-te și tu cum joacă ăștia în finală.
Foxy is buying his team so much time to focus the southern side right now. They should never be allowed to be able to maintain this position for so long, but it's all thanks to Foxy.
But then Taman is also knocked very, very low. He was just given a little bit of line of sight towards these Giamba members. We're in phase 9 right now. We know where the game is going to end, and no one has control of that position. It is the bottom of...
Ăla are AVM, toate gloanțele le-a arătat de AVM, mă. N-a dat un knock AVM-ul, să-mi bag ăla de prost. Hai, că v-ați jucat.
Yep, not gonna happen. Chiamba now 2v3 weren't able to deal with Foxy.
Da, zici că e rang, zici că se joacă așa, nu știu, e... Nu tot spectacol, nimic, să-mi bag pula dacă nu. Vezi de echipe cum erau înainte, Navi și Face se băteau, să-mi bag pula, țineau câte 5 minute fight-ul lor, mă, să-mi bag pula, knock, chiar push, pula în pizdă, smoke-uri, pac, flash-uri, knock, chiar revive. Acum a intrat o echipă în ei, uite-te la Navi. A intrat în ei ăia, în 3 secunde au murit toți. A mai rămas Oba. N-a făcut nimic, n-avea ce să facă. Au, știu măi, jale, să-mi bag pula. Bravo lor, bine că câștigă Gen G. Măcar Pio în pula mea. Am vrut să le iau pe Pio, nu l-am luat. Eu mi-am ales jucătorii mai... cele mai bune statistici. Pula, uite-te și na.
Getting those two knocks, catching Chiamba off guard.
Yep.
I don't know if that was the winning maneuver, but it was certainly an incredibly important one. Let's go to a break and then the desk.
Ce șansă e. Una. Uite-te și tu, 13 puncte minus. Să-mi bag pula măta cu Summer-ul, mătii cu tot. A făcut kill, dar degeaba. Ăsta mai minus, că a murit iară ca prostul primul. Cam așa pe el. Ubah în primul match de aici a adus 30 de puncte, 40 de puncte. Acum să-mi bag pula, 13 puncte. N-am ce să... E nicio șansă, ești nebun. Uite, ăsta face puncte într-una. Ce morții mătii de echipă ți-ai luat, mă? Uite ce echipă are, na. În afară de... Are aceeași echipă care o am și eu, doar că îl are pe Heaven în loc de Summer. Ți-ai luat muie, frate. Dar el tot a crescut în puncte azi. Uite. Ia, locul 2. Ia și echipă. Uite. Ăsta îl copiază pe ăla, în pula mea. Deci ăsta îl copiază pe ăla. Ce echipă are ăla, are și ăsta. Toți au jucat la fel. Și eu n-am văzut astea ca să facă ei. Uite, ăsta l-a luat bine pe Pio, pe Heaven, care a rupt. Ăsta a crescut în puncte. Asta? Mamă, foarte. Alin și acolo e non, ok. E bună. Dar asta a jucat cu echipa asta mai mult timp. Pe Heaven ăsta văd că l-a ținut acolo mereu. Adevărul e că a și făcut kill-uri. Orins, bine acolo. E bine acolo. Copilul văd că a tot forțat ăsta. Nu pot să cred, nu așa. Nu știu, zici că mă uit la turneul la români să-mi fac.
So Gen G does get the chicken dinner foil and comes out with that big win. I will say we did see a lot of trench gun, a lot of shotgun play, a lot of uncomfortable crashes for some of these teams, and some of our favorites got caught early. I know we saw LG get picked off by Cerberus. A lot of them just really couldn't put anything together. Now, when we got here today, did you expect Gen G to show up and have such a major game one?
Ooh, maybe after the showing that we saw them in the losers, they had some good maybe snowball effect we can see from them, and also Pio's opening there. He died, sure, but he had an insane opening on Tianba. It looked like a good game from Tianba from the get-go there. They had a really good amount of control in the northeastern side. The terrain was looking really good for them, and Gen G was forced to kind of take this fight with Day Trade that are on the western side, right? I gotta say though, Day Trade looking strong too. They took down Navi quite easily, and that push on the cemetery there.
Yeah, Day Trade was a beautiful fight, but I do think that's what it came down to in that game. Pio making the sacrifice play, basically. Tiamba played the east side of that circle for so long. They got a couple of good shifts, and I think they were in a position to potentially win it. Pio going in and being that sort of, I'm willing to lose it all to get two of you down.
Exactly.
Really changed the game. Like, that seemed to be the turning point.
That was literally the reason why Gen G was able to win this year. They only got 4 kills, sure, but it's a 14-point game for them. Tianba, 13 there for that. But Day Trade, 10 kills.
And Ghibli.
And Heaven as well, able to pop off for Ghibli. He secured so many kills, and he secured 4th for them too there. But this push here for Day Trade, I really love what I'm seeing from them.
Yeah, no, I love what I'm seeing for them. A bit of irony for Navi taking that fight in the graveyard where they ultimately ended their run. Here we get Sonics again, pushed by Heaven, and Heaven, I think, single-handedly wiped all but one of the Sonics there. It was just beautiful. He was in a league of his own, as was Day Trade. Here's this fight with Navi, back to the graveyard. Nerns with that double pop up over the top. And then from then, they were just racking up kills.
I love what I'm seeing from the sawed-off again and again and again. But we got to remember, going forward, we're not going to see that as much because it's going to be the smoke grenade launcher that's going to be the meta going forward. But it's been showing really, really strong there. Having that pocket shotgun is looking good. This is the other one you were talking about, Pio having that off angle, making sure he can get 2 down from Tianba. And that went to be really crucial for the Gen G win there. It was close, though. I got to say the way that they played it, and also how Longscore is able to push out and get Pao Pao in a good spot here. It ended up being fantastic here for Gen G, though. But only 4 kills, 14 points. It's not a big win for them, but they can have this kind of consistency in terms of the lower amount of kill games. That's going to be fine for them.
And I mean, while they only got 1 kill across the board, I mean, look at that damage count from Taman. He's definitely, I think, going to be the man of the match on this one. 737 damage. This just speaks to it. They played a little bit different. I think Gen G was playing a lot more crashy earlier in this event, being very sort of in your face. Now they're still doing that, but they're playing defensive. They had a great job sort of, okay, Pio, you go, but we're going to have an anchor. We're going to have a cover position. I like the Gen G that we're seeing going into this grand final. And sure enough, it will be Taman that wins that man of the match.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from them so far. And I got to say, what we've been seeing from Taman, he's had some really good DMR shots. He's been really putting in work with that, both in terms of the knocks he's getting and also the damage and kills he's getting. In some of the other stages we saw, he was getting headshots, and with this LR as well, like you're putting in 79 plus damage. Somebody's just got rest. It's a knock again, right? So it's good to see your team being able to step up for the man of the match. 4 knockouts is obviously huge, but the 1 kill, he didn't manage to close all of them out.
Yeah, and I think they were okay with that. They weren't over committing for those flushes. Here's the match leaderboard. It'll be pretty much the same as the overall leaderboard right now. As this is game number 1 of the grand finals. Day Trade walks away with 15 massive points. Gen G right behind him. But as you go down that board, really, it's just those top 4 teams just sucked up so many kills. Is that a symptom of how crazy this circle was? Because, I mean, the Phase 7 shift, there was nobody in it.
Yeah, exactly. They're in a spot where they're able to, hold out everybody else, make sure they can kind of third-party the situations, and also the way that the circle moved away again and again. Once you're in a spot where you can kind of gatekeep from inside the circle, that's what we saw from Day Trade as well. Holding onto that southwestern side there, they're able to take down so many. Shoot to kill as well. Kind of went into the arms, and they're forced to get in there. Twisted Minds were one of them. Sonics were in a fantastic spot. But Heaven taking 2 knocks with
the mi-am luat muie gravă. Deci eu am avut
they could potentially take on Gen G or sweep out.
Deci am avut jucători puși. La început l-am lăsat pe XMPL, i-am dat 2 șanse. Am zis 2 zile la rând l-am lăsat, nimic n-a jucat. Păi nimic, e bocancă. A jucat Ubac de-a rupt. Grupe, primele meciuri, și ălaltul, Winners Bracket, a jucat de-a rupt. Eu nu l-am avut pus. Kickstar la fel. Cât nu l-am avut pus, a rupt. L-am pus într-o zi, muie. Nu mai moare. Numai primul moare. Deci deja am 2 minusuri pe el 2 zile la rând, am murit numai primul. După aia am zis că îl pun pe Pio la Losers Bracket. Muie. N-am pus pe altcineva. A jucat Pio 9 kill-uri, 10 făcuse, dăduse și knock. 10 kill-uri făcuse Pio. Bă, deci numai invers. Deci zici că mă joc la pariuri sportive. Azi spun pe Steaua că bate Dinamo. Nu bate Steaua, bate Dinamo. Exact așa am pățit, să-mi bat pula. M-am uitat la statistici, m-am uitat constant cum joacă fiecare. Când îi pune, nu mai joacă. Când nu i-am pus, joacă. Bă, să-mi bat pula dacă numai așa a fost, opăne. Deci numai așa a fost. Deci jur. Deci numai așa a fost, coaie. Deci e ireal. Îmi bat pula. Ia să vedem Kennedy, pe cine a jucat azi? La fel ca mine aproape. A jucat pe Sneakers, Batulins, Bokanki, Nonix, aha, Heaven, mamă, l-a pus pe Heaven, rezervă. Ia să văd. Kennedy l-a pus pe Heaven, rezervă, și Heaven a jucat de-a rupt azi. Ia să vedem ce-i jucat tu aici. Mamă, să-mi bat pula cu aia. Stai așa că ăsta e al meu, nu? Da. Cum ai numele? Că te caut, că așa văd că nu-mi dă. Open? Ăsta, nu? Cu 2 de N. Ia. Ai jucat XMPL. Ăsta e Nonix și Loki. Nu era echipa ta, XMPL, nu știu, ți-a adus vreo 2 puncte. A făcut 2 kill-uri, parcă. Long ăsta a făcut kill-uri ăsta. A făcut și Inonix. Tu ești mai bine ca mine azi. Să-mi bat pe ăla dacă nu. Deci tu ești mai bine ca mine azi.
Luminosity. It's a bit of a stretch to get down there. It's not just
Hai să
Luminosity.
dau ăsta un pic.
Also playing pretty far east, and Howell's spot around shelter not great for them to get to either. So you can already see Howell going to seems to be alternative drop around swamp.
Eu zic că ăștia merg mai bine ca ce am ales eu, să știi. Azi trebuia jucat, fii atent, azi trebuia jucat pe jucători de-ăștia de 20.000, de 18.000, care joacă mult mai bine ca ăștia alții. Mamă, sper să se dea avionul, sper să se dea zona în dreapta. Jur, deci ăia trebuiau jucați pentru că ăia dau tot ce pot din ei. Mamă! Deci din start aici. Deci eu din start aici. Deci din start aici eu am pierdut așa. Deci pierd clar Navi. Summer. Bă, ce ai, mă? Bă. Deci Summer pierd 100.000. Inonix ok. Da, mi-au iară muie, stai să vezi. Hai să vezi acum. Și mi se pare că acum nici nu mă mai lasă să schimb, nu? Rule set. Nu, acum o să se schimbe doar capitanii și bench player. E bine. Am sub-o, original. Am și pula să-mi bag. Băi, nu știu de ce îmi face așa în pula mea. Eu ce plac ca video. Nu, ăștia stau bine aici, se rotez frumos pe sus pe acolo. Sunt bine. La Valorant ai pus opene. L-a scoate pe Marvel de ăsta. Aștia toți saburi în pula, îl băgăm pe ăsta măcar. Opa. Ah, mi-l arată pe Heaven aici când s-a pișat pe ăștia.
weapon that could really take care of this, and that was the shot that was completely unearned.
We were wondering why you were ahead of me in fantasy, and then we were like, oh wait,
I have heaven. Yeah, okay.
Ia uite-l pe ăsta. Mamă, shotgun-e.
Get a break. They always get into early engagements, but Fox now gonna remind us, gonna repeat what Heaven just did. It seems.
Îi dă nade bun ăla. Oh! Bă, dar zici că n-au sunet, mă, să-mi bag pula în gura mea. Zici că n-au sunet, coaie.
Avoiding a couple of grenades. The Tiampa are swarming the site. Adam's angle just not good enough. Can the rest of Third Eye hold on while he repositions again?
Ooh! Finds one of the chests, gets to the second time around as well. Oldless instantly there though to trade as Tiampa now fully committing to this fight. We do have both 17 and Twisted Minds in the nearby vicinity too. So look for those trackers from the side and see if maybe there's going to be some third-party commotion.
Adam going down is huge because that was the anchor of the Overwatch position. It is all up to Oldless right now. It is only Pow down for. Oh, he jumps down, tries to do a sneaky little Assassin's Creed maneuver, but is not going to catch.
Ăsta are sunet în pula mea. Bă, bă, uite-i pe ăsta. Mor. Mamă. Hai că s-a tras. Ăsta e mort în cadă. I-a dus pe pulă Vegas.
Vegas really likes making these plays, but sometimes can be a bit too far ahead of the rest of the team. A bit caught out here, and it's going to get punished for it. No revive going to be possible. The rest of SDK are pushing towards the north. And, I mean, the reason we're seeing so many fights, I think you just touched on it, is that top third of the circle, water. Bottom third, below the river, and unlikely to stay in play. Everyone is rushing for this center
peninsula, kind of just going out there. Yeah, exactly.
The bunny ear.
Bunny ear. You know what? That's a good call. I'll call that entire place the bunny from now on, regardless of whether you're just west of Stalpa.
Bunny.
I get it. I see it.
Adevărul e că Kennedy l-a jucat pe Snickers, dar a jucat mai bine. Azi. Două kill mi se pare că de el sunt făcute.
But I think Sonics heard that. They saw the vehicles come through and like, you know what? We actually kind of want to play a whole game this time around. So let's allow them to rev on through.
Human trying to find an opportunistic knock here with Kurt solo player in this split. It's a sneaky angle coming in from the ridge line, and Kurt doesn't seem to be that aware of the potential for sure, but not that defensive from it. But maybe some call out happened because he's going to drop in the high ground, get in the vehicle. No, he's getting to the solo position hold. But this could be an opportunity for Human. Shots coming out, just barely get the knock, but that is another knock against SDK.
And no way in hell they're getting that res up either.
Uite ce bine vin băieți acum.
Now, a bit surprised, especially when Vegas fell down, that they're still up to try and maintain a 2-1 split in
Bravo lor.
the most prioritized areas of the map early on, of course, pretty much regardless of where the second circle will take us.
Ce-a făcut ăsta, mă? Bă, ăsta și-a luat knock singur, mâncați-aș pula.
Foxy knocked himself on Milia.
From a UAZ, not even a bite.
I think he jumped out of the car. Like fat fingered and just, you know what, I don't need first plate. Who needs it anyway?
Uite, bătaia asta nu e bine aici.
62 damage last game. Maybe just wanted to feel what it feels like to get knocked.
Nu e bună bătaia asta că am jucători din ambele echipe.
We'll see now Ruin trying to wrap on through as Howl wants to reposition himself out towards the west. I like their idea because so many times have we seen these circles shift out towards that western field just north of George Paul.
17 Gaming, hold on to Cube. They're one of the teams that are going to be looking for those bridges that, as you mentioned, they're such a big threat. If you're coming in as late as we're still waiting a few teams, might as well wrap hard east. I imagine Gen G are going to be doing that, but Day Trade and Ascend here, they're coming in from the west side, so for them it would be a big waste of time and gas. They are just going to have to brave the bridge.
I think if you're smart and you're Ascend here, you stick around for a little while longer. Wait those extra minute and 30 seconds. You know that the north side is already fully taken.
Pula mea căutați acolo, mă. Hai, veniți pe aici. Mamă, iar două echipe, una lângă alta.
Who knows? Maybe you get a southern hardship, because hardships would be too rare these days, apparently. and then you'd be blessed. So might as well just stay.
De ăștia n-au trecut podul ăla. Păi pe partea aia nici nu mai treceți în pula mea.
Ghibli have flexed out even further since they got that kill onto Kurt. Nice little split. They're staying active. They want to maintain this high ranking position for as long as they can. No reason to give up that podium spot just yet, as we also see the Sonics group on in, and Genji in the blue coming in super late.
No reason to hurry. I mean, melee team with the north side shift coming in. They know they're going to be late to the party again. As I said, similar story to Ascent. They know they're going to be late to the party. And honestly, perfect timing for them would be hitting Rosok around the new circle pub, because they're going to be coming in full speed, maybe even that far out. Going to be able to beat a team or two to the punch for a good position.
That's true. That's actually a fair point, especially if it's an Eastern shift.
Exactly.
20 seconds left. Sonic stalling for a second, pulling away. I imagine they spotted something from either Luminosity or Na'Vi.
O să seară mă bag și la joacă că de la muncă.
These two members at God Compound, the other two are on South George Hilltop, which is right next to the edge, but that is 100% for information, but it's going to be actually center, but because of the water, it's essentially a hardship towards the north. This favors most of the teams in, but then you have the day trades and the Genjis that are now going to have to find somewhere to try and slot in.
The interesting thing is, for right now, the way that we look at it, all teams that are coming in from outside the circle rotating uphill into the literally unknown. So we'll see how these rotations are going to come through. Sonics, like, what angle do you get? Because you know that regardless,
Deci n-a rămas niciunul la groapa aia?
Anywhere, wherever you try and rotate through, because as you can see with Howl aggressing early on, you need to take spots early in this area of the map, because there are only so many available.
Yeah, we saw LG concede space to Na'Vi, and Na'Vi are still on the rotate.
Și unde dracu se duc? Cine pula mea e gele la ăștia, mă? Îi vede shooting-ul de acolo.
It has in the past become the kind of the magnet for grenades over the top, and when the nades are thrown from a spot from where you can't see the opponents throwing them, it makes it a little difficult to stay alive. In the meantime, Twisted Minds full control of the plane crash area, but of course they would have heard the vehicles from Howl just coming in. So Lou trying to make sure that no one is peeking forward.
Howl are not a threat to Twisted Minds right now, as much as it would be very a good number of points in that trench, as you mentioned. They want to make sure that they can defend from another team who is perhaps more desperate and will be sending immediately into their position, because Howl are not a threat right now. Day Trade pushing across the bridge. 17 have yet to be activated onto them. Cerberus have sent it on ahead, so that's some positioning for Day Trade to take, and we're still waiting to see what Ascend opt to do on this southwest edge.
I know that Face ain't here, but I love the damage, the mental damage they've done to Ascend, because they have been gatekeeping them throughout the entirety of the season in EMEA. And Ascend, every time they come to anything that looks like a bridge or potential gatekeep spot, they all stop, they all get out of the cars, they scout forward, and honestly, I mean, it's adding another at least
aici vor să vină.
Rotation that make us, oh, they could be there, they could be there, they could be there. But don't worry, Ascend, you should be alright this time around.
We'll see if there's any space left for Ascend on the west side, because Cerberus are arriving at one of those possible spots, though not quite on that edge. I was eyeing up that hill just above Tiamba, but Day Trade, they are eyeing Tiamba's compound directly. Linshu still with the shotgun in play. They've been plugged so far inside Day Trade. Well, they assume that someone's here, but they don't know.
Na, la cel mai dai. La cel mai dai acolo dacă le-ai auzit că ești afară. Linciu. A, tu l-ai pe long scără ăla. Ado și Norinț?
Yeah, this is some rough communication for Day Trade, because that compound, if they want to approach it, they needed to send all four.
Păi în compound-uri asta joacă, shotgun-e. Eu, du-te bă dracu de aici. Lasă-i în pula mea pe ăștia în pace. Să-ți dei tăi. Haide mă, dă zona sus. Bravo. Na'Vi nu stau bine acolo. S-au pișat pe ăștia într-o secundă. Apișa într-o secundă, mâncați așa. Ce bine au venit aici. Dar nu-i mai suport pe ăștia deloc.
There's a whole team down here. If this circle goes away, we wait here and then we take him out. It was pretty much a 3-2-1, let's shoot, and they were down in a blink of an eye.
I really would have wanted a second chance at that one. Have to be more aware.
Hai că vă auzi și pe voi.
Members of Day Trade just trying to
Unde se duc ăștia?
send it through hopefully an
Salut, salut.
but it's going to be a crossfire between 17 and Twisted Mind. Suju with the first. It's all going to be on Pooch Hills and driving directly into Twisted Mind's territory. Lou is here for the follow-up. And that is Day Trade eliminated in 14th place.
They trade wraps so wisely on the
killers.
previous game. It's as if they've forgotten how to rotate coming into game number 2. That's a little unlucky. Some decisions.
Merg la moarte, da. Zici că mă uit la meciuri de rank să-mi bat pula. Nu înțeleg cu aia.
Navi actually left that hillside back onto these dips that are similar to the
Ăștia o să-și fută toate smocurile aici. Mașinile.
also pushing in, but 4 a.m. are getting a bit close. Pio's arriving back. They're going to be slotting themselves in on this edge, and this is a good position to defend from. But it is on the edge. They're likely going to have to leave at some point.
It's weird when you look at it, but it's the closest towards the center position from where you can still bring your vehicle. Everything now is hillside, it's open, and they want to keep those cars for as long as they can, because do we shift north, do we shift into shooting range, you can't just run down that hill, you got to full speed send it. So right now, Gen G staking to the edge is a very, very wise idea.
Yeah, they don't want to be caught in a similar situation that Day Trade did, so they're just playing super safe. They're going to wait to see where Phase 4 gets activated, and that's going to be more of a committed approach at that point. But right now, Pio is watching the backfill, but it's actually a push up the hill on the east side from Danawa. That was the initial point of contact. Foxy readjusting and still aware that 4 a.m. could also pounce off of that initial Danawa engagement.
And that's the issue for Gen G now. Are they aware that it's two full teams? I mean, Salute is still sat in the Crossroads compound further north, kind of playing the big brother protector and all of this, the UAV.
Hai mă, bateți-vă dată să mai apuc și eu un meci. Pentru mine e bine, dar să facă Inonix kill aici.
Gen G, their spread, it looked good, but you gotta win the fights, you gotta hit those shots, and you also gotta just make sure you don't get snuck up upon. They're arriving back to pick everyone up, ready for Phase 4, but ultimately this is just to get out of dodge because they are in a very, very hairy situation. Pio is savable, and it looks like Gen G are actually trying to send it into
Okay, they're just saying, you know what, you took out one of ours, but we'll just full speed send it straight into you. They know that Salute is a solo player down below. Pio sold the
tras
shots
după.
they're calling the bluff, they're seeing the split, they want this
Tare peste. Mamă, dacă. Uite-l pe taie, miniar face kill. Pe cine a pierdut Navi? Kickstart iară, ba, mă, să-mi bă pula cum mă mor jucătorii. Bă, nu pot să cred, bă, nici damage, nimic nu face, bă, nimic, mâncați-a și pula ta, Doamne. Nimic, coaie, nimic nu face. Iară minus. Mi se pare că a murit Tubac, nu? E mort unul de la Navi. Eu nu prea l-am văzut. Bravo, Summer. Ai avut și mașină.
It's going to be dangerous if they don't catch him. In the meantime, 17 splitting out as best as they can. Where Sushu and Xiaopei is currently sad. We know that to be like the nade spam grave.
A, de mult cu PUBG Mobile, nu mai joc de 2 ani de zile. Fac 2 ani anul ăsta. Pula mea, îl știi tu pe ăsta aici, coaie, mâncați-a și pula ta, că nici măcar n-a tras.
Surprised that he cooked it at all, considering they already had Molly there. Yeah. Even if he ran out, they could just shoot him. But okay, they tried, didn't work. Now First one to fall as the downfall of Danoa continues. Brexco trying to help out a little bit, but I think even with that, not a whole lot.
Nu era Polonia, era Grecia. Mi-a murit și Nonix Open, mi-a murit și Kickstart. Dacă a murit și eu, Bach, m-am dus pe pulă. Summer moare și el, a făcut măcar un kill. A murit și Summer. Asta, echipa mea. Băi, e real, mă, băi, e real, mă, să-mi bag pula. Mai e Uba?
And huge for Xiaolu that he comes in here fragging in game number 2. Circle has swung north, so even though they win the position, 4AM will have to move again. But again, Xiaolu hasn't played this tournament at all yet, so for him to come onto the server, get a couple of kills in there early on, get a good feel of it. We know how dangerous he is. We'll see if he tends to perform here.
Doamne, să-mi bag pula. 3 jucători mulți.
Two in hard cover on the soft edge that is uncontested. Just give that covering fire. Everyone else is going to have to just go through the
Îl mai am pe exemplar. Ei, cred că am rămas ambii cu un jucător. Sau nu, exemplar în viață, Melman și Alia, nu? Da, Ubach e mort. Eu nu mai am niciun jucător. Bă, o să cred, nu.
Three pitted below Cerberus, but two in a vehicle. Could be playing this as a bit of a bait, of a distraction. The vehicle comes sending by, and the rest of Twisted Minds are there to pounce.
Summer nu e mort.
So the last one remaining of Danoa, they should know where he is, but he's going to continue to play this as a solo. But back
Summer n-a murit.
Cerberus know that Twisted Minds are here. The grenades are coming out.
First one connects.
Aha, ați vrut să faceți manevră, luați de aici. N-a luați la muie, pișama și pe voi determinați. Luați la muie. Mamă, nu i-a dat un hit. Ați cu minți că ăștia trag. Nebunilor. Ați crezut că merge și cu ăștia, cum au făcut cu ăia sus. Aha. Au crezut că merge ca la ăia la alții. Mamă, ce i-a aruncat mașina. Uite, mă, nu pot să cred, mă, ce joacă ăștia.
Now 4AM are also eliminated on the east side, which means that Soul, as a solo player from Danoa, can continue to try and snake some final points out. Alia has been knocked.
Ajunge, bă!
Under the cover of smoke, but that is a cover of smoke. So if anyone just wants to fire a whole magazine in or even drop a grenade, I think Ghibli have eyes on that. They could get the confirm there, and not to mention Spyro also solo Twisted Minds out in the blue.
Yeah, they took out Alo, which has allowed for Ghibli to push further down towards the southern side. Let's see New Circle Pups. How brutal are you going to be? Because anything north of the road here is open. Shifts down towards the south. Luminosity still going to be in the shooting range area.
Hai de pula mea. Acum chiar că nu mai am pe nimeni. O să cred așa.
Sure, this ain't gonna be easy to make your way in from here, or into here from anywhere really. Nate's lopped on forward would be a bit short, I'd imagine. Actually, no, as a matter of fact, right on the money. Example falls should be an easy rest, depending on whether or not Ghibli opts to aggress off of it.
Mel holding the line, gets a little bit of damage out with the follow-up grenades, force Na'Vi to get the revive indoors, and that means that Ghibli could try and retake that space. There is still Penta, the last
Da, tot în Germania. Păi sunt stabilit aici, nu plec de aici. Mai ales că acum am și copilul. Până nu-i fac un viitor la copil, nu o să plec de aici. Fac toți kill-uri, numai... Bă, deci face Alia cu Melman kill-uri, dar nu fac ăștialalți. Uite-l pe Penta ce a făcut, mâncața și pula.
Melman example finding the last from Ghibli as well as they fold in night.
Alia unable to get revived. Couple little tags there. That's going to be the bleed out for the final kill going towards Ghibli. Example, as you say, the
Dar ce nume aveai tu înainte sau ăsta l-aveai tot timpul?
Luminosity making sure that no one got out of that one in a particularly healthy position. Why FluDD himself is holding off 17's push because they know that that's a big threat of 17 trying to take a better holdable, defensible position here in the actual shooting range.
Nu mă, Spyro ăla încă trăiește, nu pot să cred. A venit din Blue Zone cu aia. Încă trăiește. Robert sau Romano? Ah, nu știu.
Problem for Luminosity is that they're trying to hold a couple of different points, and it's necessary. They don't want to get backfilled on either the east or the west.
Exactly.
So it's going to have to be...
Ăia iară stau ca pizdele sus acolo, nu fac un kill, uite-te la ei.
Also not wanting to do a whole lot before they see the next circle pop. Do not commit to a fight until you absolutely know that you have to make a play. Don't adjust to things. They ain't happened yet. Let's see where does this next one take us.
Sonics have a small little rock to play with, and their ridge has just been... it's gotten smaller and smaller by the zone, and it seems to be fully eliminated. There's also barely a wall in play for the shooting range itself.
Ah, zici de Johnny S.
I think is in a shack, just proning out in the open. He's got a car, I guess that's something, right? But yeah, there's nothing to play for in this final, not final, phase 7. There's still another whole phase to go, but there's really nothing here for cover.
I mean, this shot right here of the observer feed, you can see it. I mean, if you say Killica just as a car, believe me, half these teams would love to just have a car.
Ah, vrea să-mi sugă ciocanul, nu vrea să mă bată. N-avea ce să-mi facă. 20 de kg cu calculatorul în brațe avea.
Unsure if Example would know about Spyro. Example is just peeking in towards Sonics because he's got this soon, and Spyro is there to pick up that kill.
Should still be outside nade range in the meantime now. Yep, Spyro peeks on over.
Uite-l pe terminatul ăsta.
If he can make his way further forward now, Snake swings out, finds one on Sonics as they have to make their way further forward as well.
Man, I wonder how many smokes they have. We see two on one of those members of the Sonics, so they're gonna have to use a lot of them to try and get into the zone. But even then, can they even play on? Like I don't know. I think it's just gonna be everyone running out in the open, and then the small little smidgen of shooting range in play for Luminosity and 17.
If Sonics and Genji ends up, if Ascendant and Genji ends up fighting here, Sonics has to make the rap on east. If the fight battles on the south, they have to make.
A băgat Tigaltin în seamă, fătus pe măta în
Another kill for 17-6 already in the pocket for them. And they look like they have grenades at the ready for Luminosity. Flood with a counter frag out. They should know his position. Sneakers has approached as
Unde dracu ai aruncat? Bă, n-aveți sunet! I-a dat cu nade în cap. Uite ce face mica ăla. A bătă-și pe Tigaltin pe la... Oh.
Out of frag grenades, only throwing flashes. Relo forced to rush forward because of the smoke, and then Logos with the angle can't quite get the knock. Suju was able to get the first, but then Xiaobei swinging over the top side. Only one member of Luminosity remaining.
And all of the commotion happening here, 17 is forced to go for the rest. Genji in the meantime wrapping up towards the hillside as they hear Sonic.
Ia-te ce se pișe Genji-ul pe Sonic. Aia zic. Bravo, mă, bravo. Bravo, mă, băieți. Da, acum e greu pentru voi. Bravo, bă, bravo. E meciul ăștia. Mai e Pio în viață? Nu mai e. Ce bine vine ăsta aici, dă-te în pula mea. Dacă îi țin bine, n-au zona ăștia acum. Nu o să mai aibă zona. Oh! Nu muri, bă, nu muri, că nu o să-l poți ajuta pe ăla. Bine, mă, bravo. Mamă. Nu, bă, coaie, ce prost ești. Și pe... Fii atent, Open, exact ce am zis. L-am pus pe taie mina la altăieri. A făcut, cred că un kill în toate meciurile. Astăzi deja are de-astea, nocurile astea. Plus, mă, bun. Plus, ăstea de acum. Îi dă revive, coaie. Îi dă revive. Bo, perfect. Dar fă și pic. Bine, bă, coaie. Na, coaie, na. N-am mâncat așa. Dă-te în pula mea. Doamne, ce bine a tras ăla. Vezi, mă, ăștia fac show, coaie. Ăștia fac show în pula mea. Mamă, ce bine a tras să-mi bat pula, coaie. Foai de pula mea. Ce bine le-a tras ăla cu M4 să-mi bat pula. Asta înseamnă când ei joacă numai Beryl. Na, mai scapă și ei acolo un spray la Beryl, poate 2-3 gloanți. Bă, dacă intra cu M4 ăștia, la sermă cu M4 să-mi bat pula. Obișnuiți numai Beryl. Când a pus una pe un M4 să-mi bat pula, nu trage gloanțele 15 sau 10, se duc într-un punct. Și acum e și schimbat M4. Are mai mult recoil stânga-dreapta. Da, bine, la ăștia nu se simte și dacă îl măreau vertical nu se simțea oricum. Dar ce muie și-au luat ăștia aici, mi-a plăcut. Au crezut că fac ca la ăia de sus. Mi-a dat muie. Exact ce ziceam, Teagle Team cu echipa lor au stat 7 săptămâni pe ridge-ul ăla, n-au făcut kill-uri nimica, mor ca pulile. Meciul de pe Miramar identic, au stat, au ținut de zona aia până phase 7, iar n-au făcut nimica. Labi în pula mea n-au ce căuta aici. Câștiga și ei odată în America în pula mea și aia a fost. Mamă, ce le-a tras să-mi bag pula. N-au ce căuta aici în pula mea, nici LG-ul cu Kickstarter, mă. El a avut meciuri bune, dar cred că
Yeah, and Pew died early, right? This is fantastic, and honestly, I gotta say, that double spray down from Taman, double headshots. Oh my god, that's literally what won them the game. Fantastic play by him, and they're able to close that one out. And back to back here, it's honestly a little bit of a surprise after what we saw in the group stage, but here, and of course, going in from the losers bracket, they've been stepping it up.
They're one of those teams. They remind me of like that sort of Na'Vi vibe. But when they start strong, they get strong. Because that fight,
așa să vedem și minusul frumos, dacă tot nu, zic și eu. Mai timp. Bocanc, mai timp. Bine că n-am la minus pe ăsta, dar n-am puncte. Tot acolo, uite, la caț.
Questionable sent, by the way. I was kind of hoping to see Sonics hold on to that northwestern side, that ridge for a long time. There are 4 guys strong. They could have pushed into the fence kind of later if they wanted to, but yeah, it got shut down early, and then they were down to just 2 players.
And it was frustrating because I watched them. They played Sep Triangle for a while because they wanted to get back on the ridge. They held off Ridge Compound, and they worked Ridge that entire time, and then made that push. I think maybe they thought they might get into a third party. They kind of saw that battle going on with Luminosity and 17 and wanted to take over the spot. That said, 17 came out on the win for that battle. LG's Luminosity, or sorry, yeah, 17 Luminosity battle was also one of those game changers because it opened up the door for everybody to kind of come in, open that space up, and everyone was limping after that fight.
Yeah, and they were like, they're throwing all the utility at them. They're kind of trying to get the opening, and once all the utility was thrown, everyone waited because everyone was blind, and then 17 got a really good opening on it, of course, here. Twisted Minds and Spyrex managed to get some points out of that one, too. They got a good amount of kills. And this send here, I was like, wow, what are they trying to accomplish here? Obviously, they wanted to get back. There wasn't even a shack, it was the car that was burning, and that opened up everything for Gen G. And of course, 17 Gaming, I was impressed with their push. They managed to take down Luminosity quite well, and Xiao Wu, of course, opening that up. But then Gen G sent it over, and Taemin with that double headshot knock here from this angle here. Perfect timing from him.
You know, I honestly don't know if they knew Ascend was there in the first place. You saw him trying to pivot and drive away.
Maybe not.
Tyre got shot out, and that's the end of that one. But here's the play by Taemin. My goodness. And then they get this res. You saw Foxy come over. He gets up DG98. They put out that flash. And
Ne uităm aici, deci când ne uităm la rank, nu vezi?
For them to take home that winner's dinner. Let's check it out. This is the team stats. Foxy, 4 kills and almost 600 damage. But Taemin with 700. Who's your man of the match here?
I gotta say that double knock from Taemin there. It's very likely gonna go to Foxy though. But it's the double knock from Taemin with the M4 there. That's an insane spray down.
Yeah.
Especially in the longer range there. Pio though, if you have Pio on your fantasy team, and he's been out for both of the wins here, that's gonna be rough. But of course, happy for Gen G. There's a lot of Korean fans out there that's gonna be cheering them on at the moment.
All right, your man of the match is Taemin. That extra knockout and the damage got him the man of the match, and I think deservedly so. When we watched that replay, the first burn down, it was close range. It was sure, okay, he saw it first, but the fact that he just let off the gas for a quarter of a second, transferred that spray, and got that knock, opened the door for Gen G. Because 17 looked like they had a really good position. The circle was sort of working for them.
Oh, yeah.
That without that knock, I think it's a different story about how the end game.
And also Gen G, they're out in the opening, right?
Yeah.
They had nothing to kind of the timing that they had to push, and Taemin being there on that anchor, it was just perfect. 19 total points here for Gen G on top of the 14 that they just had in the game one there. That's fantastic. But 17 on 15, and a lot of teams here in double digits too. Sonics and Twisted Minds.
Actually, Twisted Minds getting 8 kills, definitely noteworthy. They got 4, but they put a good amount of points on the board. And then all the way over to 4 AM, Cerberus, Tiamba, teams that sort of got pushed out positionally, were able to salvage those points, and that's what you want to see. This is a long 18-game series.
Right.
Get those 5 points whenever you can. Here we are on the overall leaderboard right now. Gen G is at 33 already, which is absolutely wild. Not what I expected when I showed up here today in the first 2 games. But that's only 2 games out of 18.
Yeah, it's a scary team to have snowball effect though, right? And if Pio haven't really gotten started as we have seen him do so far in the losers bracket too. So if they continue doing this, the rest of the 3-man roster, and Pio also gets started, that's gonna be scary stuff for the rest of the lobby. That's not a team you want to let everything run away with, of course. Still, this is the team that also got second last in the group stage, right, Tuffy? So yeah, them being able to turn it around, having a fantastic losers bracket, and then coming into this here, that's a more.
Oricum e jale. Jale mare cu.
I think some teams that we are seeing maybe not have the start they wanted to. Danawa in
2 zile când am pus pe Taemin ăsta, nu mi-a jucat nimic.
not working right now. I think that we have a short break. Hopefully those teams can sort of get together with their coaches. I think they're in the rooms right now talking.
Când am pus pe Taemin, nu mi-a jucat nimic. Acum joacă azi. De 2 ori man of the match, kill-uri. Uite și tu, Kickstar mort în cadă mare numai la început. Primele zile a jucat de-a rupt, e top player la statistici. Pula, Ubac la fel a jucat de-a rupt, mort în cadă azi. Pula. Da, pe haule am prins și eu din ei, gen care la rank. Hai mă, ce s-a dus ăsta, iar a făcut puncte. Pe cine ai făcut puncte în meciul ăsta? Are aproape aceeași echipă ca mine, ești nebun în afară de Heaven. Ai făcut echipa aici? Red. Că nu prea am mai urmărit PUBG. Am înțeles. Nu mai joci? Sunt pe România și n-am pe sil la muncă. Ești în România? Te-ai mutat înapoi în România sau ce?
I'm thrilled that GPT skins will help our fans be united with our team. It's always exciting because you only create these things in the digital world, and it's a great joy to see our fans who will win in our.
Am venit să muncesc 3 luni, după merg înapoi. Înțeles. De-aia nu te mai vedeam că joci și de-astea. Și vin iar în ianuarie și rămân de tot? Păi ce, nu-ți mai place Franța? Sau vrei să te stabilești în România? Și tu făceai școală de milițian, nu? Facultate, ce făceai? În Franța. Ai terminat? Mai am un an și gata. Și vrei să te pui pe România, Da, trebuie să vorbim după aia cu să trăiți polițai. Dar în România, în domeniul ăsta o să lucrezi, nu? Sau... Pe România faci, să știi. Dar gen ce o să fii? Ce fel de polițai? Ce juca Vegas ăsta aici? Am înțeles. Sunt numărul 1 ăștia de la Gimli cu shotgun-ul. Pot să-mi aleg ce vreau eu? Am înțeles. Păi și nu la ce te-ai gândit? Mamă, ce i-a aruncat din mașină. La ce te-ai gândit? Eu fac legea, eu comand. Dar ai făcut ceva, nu? Câți ani ai făcut de... Uite, Nate a dat ăla. Antitero, de-astea, antitero. O să fie 5 ani când termin. Mamă, să-mi bat pula. 5 ani. Bă, așa am zis și eu, frate, să faci școală. De exemplu, să te faci polițai, ceva, procurator, avocat nu prea m-aș face, niciodată în viață n-aș fi vrut. Așa, chestii de-astea, nu știu, la procuratură, polițai, vreun medic de ăsta super mare, de inimă, operații de-astea sau chestii. Da, merge să faci școală, în rest, bași pula mea de școală. Asta am zis mereu. Cum ai făcut tu, e clar se merită să pierzi încă 5 ani din viață în pula mea să faci ceva, știi că măcar după aia te merită. Da, clar, sunt meserii care n-ai ce să faci fără școală. Dar astea sunt meserii care merită să faci școală, chiar dacă faci încă 5-6 ani în plus după aia, du-te coaie ginecolog să bagi mâna la babe în pizdă, la... Du-te de aici în pula mea, trebuie să-ți faci rugăciuni zilnice, să-ți vină câte o bunăciune, să... Aia nu merge, ginecolog nu e ce trebuie, lasă-o în pula mea. Exact. Du-te, Silviu, în pula mea cu babele tale, vin babe de-alea cu brânză telemea în pula mea. Bă, hai să-mi bat pula, mi s-a ridicat păr pe mâini de scârbă. Mamă, să moară Jana. Bă, am pielea găinii pe tot corpul numai când mă gândesc că ești nebun. Ferească Dumnezeu. Aia, lasă, dar și ele la 20 de ani, dacă îți vin niște nespălate, ele se... Știi cum sunt alea? Hai că zic eu cum sunt femeile, că eu am un vechi, bine, nu mai pot să-l numesc prieten, că nu ținem legătura, cine știe ce, dar un băiat care a jucat fotbal cu mine, când am jucat noi în Liga 1 la FC Brașov, și bă, a văzut băiatul că pe România n-a avut șanse, a fost prin afară, tot rezervă, tot pula mea, nu-și lua banii care trebuia, ce a zis omul, gata, mă reprofilez. S-a băgat pe medicină, a făcut ginecolog, băi, coi, deci mă pișam pe mine de râs, îmi ziceau că îi veneau uneori niște bunăciuni, bă, arătau pe din afară țiplă, dar erau ori de-astea, cum zice Red, de pe la țară, ori pula mea, care, cum să-ți spun eu, nu zic că nu se spălau, se spălau, dar nu se spălau așa ca și cum știe că mâine are control la ginecolog, trebuie să mă spăl ca lumea, înțelegi? Tu nu poți să faci baie doar atunci în pula mea care știi că trebuie să mergi la ginecolog să-ți faci baie complet de aia ca lumea, cum trebuie, nu să te freci cu peria de sârmă și căcaturi. Deci erau genul ăla de femei care se spălau bine numai atunci, știi? Când știau că trebuie să meargă la ginecolog, în rest dădeau așa un pic cu apă pe ele, pa, gata, m-am spălat. Băi, a zis că murea, deci efectiv murea. El era obișnuit cu masca aia pe care noi am purtat-o la corona. A zis că nici cu aia n-avea ce să facă. Tot era jale. Și na, e nasol că nu numai că trebuie să... La unele avea niște chestii care nu trebuia poate să se uite. Băga doar mâna să simtă. Dar la unele trebuia să se uite și trebuia să te uite complet. Ești nebun. Adică ca lumea să vadă. Venea unele, a zis că ciuperjile mai lipseau. E jale, coaie, nebun. Du-te, e ce mai scârbos lucru. Că te faci ginecolog în pula mea. Nu e combinație deloc. Nu e deloc combinație. Da, lucrezi cu mănuși, cu pula mea, dar nu e, frate, e scârbos, ești nebun. Îți mai vine una de-aia de are atâta pizdoaca, de trebuie să faci loc, o să te chinui o săptămână să faci loc, că să... E dracă, ești nebun. Nu, e, și alea sunt cele mai nasoale. Alea atrag transpirație cel mai mult. Mor dacă nu. Nu, e jale. Nu, e ginecolog, nu e un doctor de ăsta mai mare. Uite, cum e de exemplu aici, cunosc pe cineva, e doctor român. Operații pe inimă, e cel mai mare de aici, de la noi. E cel mai cunoscut doctor și e român. E super de treabă. Câștigă la bani de... Are un salariu de doare capul. Am zis, astea pentru mine meserii care... Da, referitor la școală. În rest, să faci bani și să-ți faci o afacere și de-astea. Păi mână, citești vreo 3-4 cărți de-alea de... În pula mea de ce? Antreprenoria din ăla. Mai te duci să mai faci un pic de școală vreun an de zile sau 6-7-8 luni de zile acolo să înveți câteva despre gestionarea banilor. O afacere mică să trăiești și să faci. Eu asta urmăresc deja de 3-4 ani în Germania. Trebuie multe acte, trebuie multe chestii. Mă duc să muncesc pentru mine, nu mai stau să muncesc pentru alții. Unde pula mea sare, tigăte? Pământ de flori. Cât mai apuc din meciul ăsta, că te spec la muncă. Exact ce vorbeam de... mai prind un pic. Nu-l prind pe tot, dar... Ce săritură au ăștia de la Sonic. Uite, Dana am pula mea. Toată partea aia. N-are TP să se bată pe cadru. N-au deloc, nici pe Cinchi, nici... E că e leșină ăștia cu bătaia. Sunt slabi, coaie, 2 meciuri la rând stau numai cu zona Gen, nu s-au bătut, n-au făcut kill-uri și după aia când trebuie să le dă hardship și trebuie să plece în zonă, morți. Uite zonă, ce poate să ia Navi-ul acum. Navi, Howl, PTK-ul.
Perhaps, but that also means that, say, if Navi or Howl, one of the two, get a knock on the opposite end, there's big chance that they could really force that into a full fight because it would be for a central position.
A venit și a furat motorul. Hai, Ubach, trezește-te, fute-te în aripă. A jucat Ubach de-a rupt până acum. Până l-am pus eu în echipă la mine. A jucat de-a rupt, acum moare în pula mea. E fraierul ăsta în top să-mi bat pula de... Nu-l mai scoate nimeni de o săptămână. Arjana. Problema e că are aproape aceeași echipă ca mine, pula mea. Nu, trebuia să joc pe Kickstarter, trebuia să joc pe PGS.
They should have pretty good access to the northeastern part of the circle. Yes. Not a lot of teams up there due to the plane path, those kind of things.
Yeah, I loop in all the way on the northeast side through El Azahar and such. So it depends on how early they can get there because at this point, they drop out of the plane last. They still have to rotate to get to their spot. Teams that dropped out first, even Ghibli, if they want to do a wide rotation on the eastern highway, could get up to there first. So they're still going to need to approach it quite tentatively.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, those roads are very popular with good reason around the outer edges of Miramar. They make for powerful transitions.
Unde ești în România, Red, dacă mai ești pe aici?
Potentially here, Vegas with an AK though, and the real question is how aware of Vegas's position is Sonics. Here comes the rest of SDK. They're going to reinforce this. I think Sonics should just get out of Dodge.
They really should. I was worried because it looked like another possible Vegas isolation, which seems to be a really bad habit of this team. And
Au fugit. București.
Grouping on up, and the rest of Sonics still a bit far south. Sonics realize this is not a fight that they really feel comfortable taking.
Dar de când ești în România?
In the first phase, so they're going to concede that. At the very least, it does force SDK to group up into one singular position, and they
Nu ești de mult, nu? De o lună? Cred că erai în România când am venit eu în București. Că știam, ieșeam la o socobere. Dar n-am știut. Am fost în București vreo 4 zile. Fiecare zi. Asta trage ca să tragă.
There is that H1 rotation, but it looks like the terrain isn't really going to give Tiamba much of a line of sight onto this. The H1 is skewing a bit forward to the right. Longsker might have an angle, but I think the timing is going to favor the Sonics player, and so I don't know if he knows just how close to death he might have gotten, but the Sonics shouldn't have be worrying too much now. Should be able to group up despite not having their first spot available. There's a lot of easy open areas on that east side that they can go into, but now Na'Vi wrapping around La Bendita, find two little separate angles onto that.
Yeah, so Na'Vi trying to see if they can control the north edge of La Bendita.
Mamă, uite split să-mi bat. Dacă îl prinde, nu să îmi dai, e adevărat.
Let's listen to Uba from Na'Vi, in fact, and see what he has to say.
So we don't have like much problems. Everyone is like happy and like keep working on our goal to win the tournament. I think if we play our game, we will have like really high chances of winning the whole event.
They always say play our game, which usually is kind of, I feel, a lame answer, but for Navi's case, it makes perfect sense because it's the same thing we saw at PGC. They were winning every single phase that they were in. They've been really strong here despite having some regional struggles, it seemed, and so... Yeah,
ăștia se plimbă din compound în compound, gen care e la marginea zonei.
There have been zero holes or really any sort of exploitable flaws in them so far.
Pe Haven ăla trebuia să-l pun eu aici. De la day trade, că și ăla rupe. Azi a rupt. Vin și paralizați ăștia, pișamași pe voi. Nu-i pula mea Kickstart.
say super slow, but right in the middle. Let's take a replay here from the previous match.
Ce le-a tras asta?
Yeah, this was when Twisted Minds just deleted Howl from the map. First strike with the shots, second with the grenades. This was the exact grenade magnet that Toby was warning us about with that Howl position.
Yeah, that one right by that shack is really tough. Those dips up there on that hillside.
Yeah,
you see it so many times. The nades just love to be funneled in there.
Mă, meciul ăsta e... Da, n-au ce căuta. Tonicu aici dă-i pula mea. Merita mai bine altă echipă care nu s-a calificat. Pula mea. Mai sunt echipe care nu... O să cred că s-a dus acasă NH-ul. Doamne, de prost au putut să joace ultimele meciuri cu aia. L-am avut pe Ming de la NH primele zile. Nu l-am avut, a jucat, s-am bat pula, a nenorocit. Câte 4-5 kg, 3-4-5 kg avea fiecare meci. După ce am început eu să-l joc, bă, nimic nu mai făcea. Mai făcea kill, ești nebun? A avut 2 knock-uri date în 6 meciuri, atât. Pula mea. Nu mai invers, zici că mă joc la pariuri sportive cu Blatori, ești nebun? Fără mișto. Când nu-i pun eu pe aia, joacă de rup. Când îi pun, pa. Bă, și l-am pus iară pe Ming în losers bracket, că am zis că, bă, trebuie să joace, că na, trebuie să joace, nu trebuie să se califice și o să dea băieții tot ce pot. Pula mea, morți în cadă. Baftă, spor la muncă dacă... Plec și eu imediat, oricum nu mai stau mult. Mai prind puțin din meci și m-am dus, mai am 20 de minute. Mă duc la muncă. Poate îmi vin de seară și mă uit la restul meciurilor. Nu mai prind prea mult din meciul ăsta.
Precisely. It's really important, especially on Miramar, to control those pathing routes. Yeah, so crucial. You can see that there is some distance separating Twisted Minds and Donawa here, more towards the center of the circle, just to the southwest of the La Bendita crater. You see Los Leones in the distance, and both teams just, scouting and those kind of things. The SKS, they're not Soul's preferred god, so he would probably be looking to upgrade at some point, continuing with this very mild affair between LG and Cerberus.
Baftă, Silviu, baftă, mersi. Mai am și un pic și mă duc vineri. Mamă, cea mai plictisitoare zi de muncă.
Cerberus's own angles. Duckmai was in a strong position to try and do just that, but I think shots from Na'Vi pulled them away. While Batulin Twisted Minds, of course, he's on a high ground position, gets the first kill of the round onto DG98. So Gen G, it's not going to be impossible for them to get 3 in a row, but now down to 3 themselves. More difficult.
It's just a day that ends in Y with Batulin's getting kills from up on top of these mountains. Just every time. The guy's just a mastermind at doing that. The best in the business when it comes to controlling those power grid San Martin mountains.
Yeah. I mean, his region is very familiar with it.
Haide, mă, haide. N-are unde să... Bă, i-ar rup ăștia cu hard-shift-urile astea, mă. I-ar rup, bă, i-ar rupt.
Exactly. This is a tough one for most teams. There might be some space on the north by the junkyard, but everything else is.
But how do you get there?
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, exactly. It's going to take a while. Is the real answer there. Howl, though, of course, probably pretty disappointed with this circle. Na'Vi rotating ahead of them. You can see a lot of teams in parallel rotations because of this hard shift. And because there's so many fields in this circle, there's going to be a lot of scrambling for position.
Yeah, it's not just parallel rotations. This parallel rotation is going to push them through teams that are already in the fields and.
Dracu, cum zici că dacă se dau ăștia jos la voi...
Yeah, just barely not able to get Xiao Bei. You can see the rest is 17 driving at a compound not too far away. The real question here for Donawa is, can they get rid of Xiao Bei and keep Salute alive? No, here come the reinforcements. Suju and Chao Didi. Soul trying to do something about it, but Soul there lost his balance for a second, and Onyx going to be good for one. Xiao Bei with the sawed-off gets Loki, and now it is one up here for Donawa. Just a
Hai mă, în pula mea! Cu Inonix-ul mătii cu tot. Hai mă, coaie în pula mea. Dă-o dracu de treabă. Aoleu, coaie! Am minus că a murit prima echipă. Băga-mea și pula măta. Chiar e un minus. Asta stă pe burtă aici. A murit și Summer. Chiar rămân cu un jucător sau doi. In phase number one, Sonic's also getting involved with the angles that they have towards the north. Tickleton just waiting to deal more damage towards Norins and company.
Yeah, Sonic's here in control of a large compound right now. This is a tough one with even a four-man to really lock down. If they can, though, a very powerful compound to work in and out of. So see if they can get it done. Tickleton going to find a little bit of damage into Norins as he tries to get back behind the safety of that Bronco. And seems like for now he's okay.
Sonic's, that compound, yes, easy to crash. They're protected by teams like Cerberus on the north. And so I think them dealing damage to Day Trade is sort of I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We're just going to stay alive together here. Because if Cerberus get removed from that position, then yeah, their compound is a bit more vulnerable. 17 rotating on the southwest. Got the revives, pulling away. Just finding a little bit of space to try and hold on to on the edge of La Bendita, but it's the edge of phase number 2. They're likely, probably, most assuredly getting ready to continue to rotate as Third Eye are also having to wrap out in the blue because of that pressure from Ascent. It's actually not a hard shift. It's a central position, but that just makes Sonic's compound that much more valuable.
Well, this gets weird because the next circle has to remove as much land ratio terrain as it can, and the mountain by the Sonics is, I think, land ratio, if I remember right.
I think it is.
I think it could get weird here as now Third Eye sitting underneath Ascend. Twisted Minds coming in towards Howl. Ruin trying to back up Schofield, takes a headshot. Twisted Minds trying to breach through the defenses of Howl here. Ruin just scrambling to get upstairs, it looks like. Spyro with a great shot, going for another, gets some damage, doesn't get the re-knock.
Playing on the outside. Really good damage coming in from Howl. Lou was trying to break it onto the indoors and was able to make it work. And Navi also have an angle onto this, so no one's really coming out of this one alive. We see another fight down in the pit as well. Ascent and Third Eye still can't get away from each other.
Yeah, Perfectix and Spyro still alive for Twisted Minds, but Howl here up on the high ground in the second story, and that is going to be Third Eye taken down by Ascend. Back over to this fight. Howl with Apocalypse on the cross here, he can kind of keep Twisted Minds pinned on this first floor as best as he can, and that could potentially give Howl a really good setup for the situation.
I mean, both teams ended up in this position because of that lane ratio under the Sonics compound means that this is likely to be in the center of the next circle. But the fact that they're fighting each other means that no one's really going to be able to hold that well, and it's all just like Na'Vi just third-partying that position. Grenade coming out, Apocalypse is going to go down. He was prone, but still not enough.
Yeah, that's huge for Twisted Minds, for Perfectix. That's a free point as well. There's nothing Howl can do about that from the windows up in the top of this house. Ruin there with all that smoke in the way, can't see any of the Twisted Minds players. Spyro here catches a bright.
Doamne.
It's a backstab onto Ruin, and he is down. And now it is just Schofield trying to do something to recover. It looked like such a good fight for Howl, but now he's the only one alive.
Dropping a smoke, he has the sawed off for a push up to the high ground. And it is still only 2 members of Twisted Minds here, which means that unlikely to get pushed. They might just stay here as very, very unhappy neighbors, but Shrimzy with another knock on to...
Hai, câștig, că ești un V1.
Schofield recognizes this.
Schofield has an opportunity, but only 2 shotgun bullets left, and Spyro's just faster. Expecting the push, probably heard the footsteps, and is going to take Schofield down. So Twisted Minds, what looked like a dire, dicey fight, turns out in their favor.
And even though that compound is likely to remain really strong in this circle, Na'Vi and Sonic are pushing. They know that it's going to be torn apart by each other with the cross over the open field, but Gen G, they don't have the same worries. They're coming in from an angle that they know is relatively free, so they're going to be crashing onto this. The revive is going to be coming through, but Perfectix, no time to go for the med kit just yet.
Spyro going to throw a grenade at the feet of Pio, and it catches him going up the stairs. Perfectly placed, might have even bounced up the stairs a bit. PO still taking damage. Now another knock at Shaodidi onto Taemin. Just Foxy alive for Gen G. They tried to time this crash, but they were a bit too late before Twisted Minds was able to recover and get utility back in hand. And there's nowhere Foxy can go right now. Everybody is watching these houses.
I don't really blame Gen G because where else can they play on that north side? But they do get punished by all the other more healthy teams at range, but that hard shift to the northwest, Gen G might have wished they stayed up in that air direction because look at Cerberus's immediate spread. Duckmai is actually taking that compound, but Na'Vi focus on this building. They're trying to follow up onto Twisted Minds into Gen G.
Here we go, Perfectix with the Saiga, gets Example down. Example trying to scramble to safety. Should have that door covered, he's got another. Mel is down as well.
Ce pula mea căutați voi aici, mă?
To be opportunistic, maybe paying the price. Taemin still alive there for Gen G. They do lose PO in the process. Spyro out trying to come through the door. Opens the door, but Ali is ready with a pump of his own. This time around, it's not going so great. Perfectix is storming the barricades, and he's going to be shot down. There's going to be Uba alive. Here comes Foxy trying to finish the job. He can't do it. The drop shot, but fortunately, Taemin is there. Oh boy, Uba almost pulling a rabbit out of the hat.
Oh, still did a lot of damage, but no one else is going to be crashing that compound just yet. And here's going to be a fight of people trying to exit Impala. It's two teams, and Ascend might be trying to gatekeep.
Ghibli under pressure from a couple different angles. Ascend and Tianba stuck in between them. It's Chris who's going to flank out now as the circle did drift. Hard shifted up to the northwest. You expected it was going to go one way or another. This is the most popular compound in the circle by far. SDK, it's their turn to try to crack it. So far, it's been changing hands. Now Gen G's Foxy up top gets, it's Taemin actually who gets that first knock. They're going to immediately rush downstairs, trying to see if they can catch SDK off guard. They're going to get one. It's only Foxy alive. Vegas trying to outdo him, cannot. It's actually Tiggleton who gets involved, but it's going to be just barely SDK winning.
SDK survive. I don't know how many of those revives are going to be able to get because of the Sonic's angles that just dealt so much damage to them. But here, Tianba versus Ghibli, forcing themselves in. Glaz is down. Heaven taken very, very low. Almost dropped 77, but it's going to be Chris again. Ascend just vulturing around this spot for the kills.
Love the way Ascend is playing this. This is so smart right now. Yeah. Knowing that they have the better position on the edge of the circle. Yumin here for Ghibli. As good as Heaven was at salvaging points for Ghibli in game number 1, Yumin can't really find any safety and gets taken down by Brexco.
But now Tianba knows there's at least one member of Ascent remaining, but they're just going to get in their vehicles and send it on in. The two members of Ascent who are already at that rock face, not in a position to really contend that, and that's okay. I think they just want to go for a little bit of safety as we have 25 seconds left, but can these last two members of Ascend make their way through? Brex not even stopping for the final teammate because it is that dangerous, that much fire from Luminosity on the north.
And at least the backside of this hill is still in, and if you can keep Tianba away from this, force them into the Sonics potentially, but I don't know if Tianba can even make that rotation, if they could change directions like that.
I don't know if they'd want to, because if they try and push the Sonics, again, that's the high north side teams of Cerberus and Luminosity with potential angles. Here, they're at least able to try and find some isolated angles. Longskirt just trying to go for a grenade, but Mika, Brexco, it's Chris, ready for it. Flashes come out.
Yeah, there was a good knock there from Longskirt, but he's already pretty beat up. 55 health left on the backside. 7-7, I believe, might be in the blue. Indeed, he is. And Pow Pow trying to see what he can do to break the lines here. It is going to be Kilyukai taken down by Longskirt. Still, though, Ascend has a favorable position. They are in a firefight, though, with Luminosity way out on the other side of this.
Luminosity can't stay here for long. That shift was a medium hard shift towards the north. Luminosity are going to have to contend against Cerberus at some point, but right now they can just try and pick up damage and pick up kills. They have no points on this round, well, outside of the one placement from being at least 7th place. Longskirt 77 actually pulling away from that angle because of that covering fire, and instead might just have to look at the Sonics compound, which is still in play, but maybe they can catch H-Twins building off guard to get an initial position inside.
And now Longskirt doesn't feel like he has any other choice than to try to get to the Sonics, and they're having none of it. Win gonna be good for that quick one, and Longskirt just out in the open. Tianba there just left Pow Pow to die, sending 7-7 out to try and rotate through the fields, but I don't know where he's going to find much success in this.
Well, Brex going the opposite angle, actually going to try and swoop on in front of the Sonics. Not taking the compound, just trying to go for center, but same question, where is there to play? There's that one little shack if Brex can get there. 77 trying to race, but a tire pops, forces a spin out. That's going to be the final kill for STK. Tianba are out, 6 teams remaining.
17 has a firing line on the western edge, and they are punishing any team that tries to go into those fields, and rightly so. It's everybody on the edges right now since this is a field dead center. Rex is going to go down to Xiaobei. It's Chris and Mika trying to see what they can do to lock down this rock up on the northeastern edge, but right behind him is Luminosity Gaming. This is going to be really, really tough for Ascend.
Yeah, Ascend just didn't want to go for that shack, or, I mean, it was only Brex and got taken out. And now they don't even have that other higher ground shack. It's going to make that run up there while Luminosity are getting their vehicles because the blue is closing in. They lost their window opportunity here on the high ground, and they, instead of crashing Cerberus, might just be trying to crash onto where Ascend are.
Ia să mă îmbrac și eu până... Am jucător. Mai am...
Yeah, this is interesting. Hisaki and Cerberus still have a bit of overview on this position because of that high ground. Mika as well getting involved with that SKS. Emas trying to do what he can to put some more damage down through the smokes, and everybody is shooting into LG right now. Mime gets another knock.
Why is Mime out there? Mime really playing like BO right now. I mean, it's a good angle, it's a good opportunity. Can't blame Luminosity for trying to take this spot, but they're just getting peppered by so many different angles. It was really their only safe play, but even then, it's just falling apart.
Emas just fishing, seeing if anything will reveal itself through that smoke. But so far, Luminosity able to somewhat stabilize. Love the play here from Mime. Absolutely love this. Yeah. Now Sonics can lock this down with fewer players. They can afford to go out for these points.
Yeah, and now with this circle shift, hard shift towards the east, Mime needs to play his life. Cannot go down because he's going to be the anchor that the rest of Sonics going to be playing around. Cerberus, SDK 17, they're now going to have to leave their positions and make their way through the field. Grenade not going to make its way towards Luminosity, and Mime back into the vehicle to push just a little bit forward again to just solidify that swing position. But no, he's actually going to group back up with the team. In fact, you know what? This compound's still in play. No need to give it up. Let's let everyone else fight it out first.
Yeah, it's really good measured play here from the Sonics. Go for the points if they're there. Okay, they don't present themselves. Get back in and let's play as a team here. As there are some knocks onto SDK, they're going to have to make a move, and 17 is being patient and trying to harass the exits of SDK. SDK opting to go for the earlier sort of land grab, whereas 17 is going to just try to work this edge for as long as they can.
Vegas now going to be following on.
M-am dus și eu. Ne auzim de seară.